Where do I begin? Eden is a city of light, brighter than the sun itself, full of grandeur and magic that has changed humans more than one could imagine, allowing human augmentation and artificial life. And where there is light, there is surely shadow. But all is not what it seems here in the last city on Earth. To find the truth, you must take a bite from the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden. Welcome back, and to all our returning actors here and actresses here. Are you all ready for episode 4? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay, well...
Lewdly?
Lewdly.
All right.
So, to recap everything that's kind of happened last episode, the group kind of... had some time before they went to bed to, spend a little quality time with each other, if you want to call it that. I don't call it that, but maybe they would. And as they awoke, they were kind of surprised with an explosion being heard near the front entrance of the hideout they were at. And checking it out, they then noticed a returning figure from the first episode that was kind of enticing them and trying to give them a second option. And if they would sell out Bluprint, he would give them the pieces that they were looking for. Unfortunately, they saw through this plan that was Bluprint's plan. Bluprint had actually set them up into a virtual reality system, kind of simulation of sorts, to test their trust. And they saw through this, were able to make the correct decision to kind of gain his trust. And after that, he kind of lightened up to him a little bit, invited him to breakfast, and when they were eating breakfast, he kind of explained what he expected and required of them for payment for their pieces to replace their trackers. During so, the group learned some information about some 2 different districts and some possible groups that may be able to get some work for Bluprint as repayment for this. And moving forward, they kind of have the choice of either taking his word on these, investigating some other stuff, whatever, what have you. They just, with that new information, they can do with what they wish. So from there, it was time to do some operating. And they played Operation, or at least Scrat. Well, actually, more than Scrat did. Scrat did the first operations and removed those trackers, and afterwards, Scrat's had to be done. So, I believe it was Chip, mainly, and I think, who else was it? Sir Perior as well, correct? Like, kind of, a little there. Both of them, mainly Chip, helped out with the operation and were able to get that done. So with all their trackers removed, they're kind of getting ready and resting to head out and see what else is out there in the city. And with that, Sir Perior had the idea to possibly relive his fatal defeat, or change it, however you would like to see that, at his arena fight in his mech from the past, where he lost to the Notorious Ripper, which signified how his face changed and became scarred. And with this, Dawn basically looked around as everyone was discussing who would pilot the other mech to fight Sir Perior, and I think the group kind of was like, "Oh yeah, go ahead." She was overly enthused, and with that, they started getting ready in their simulation. Everyone else, for the most part, was getting ready to go in as well to check out the fight and watch it firsthand. However, while this was all happening, Varia decided that she was going to ask Cypher if there was a way out of the bunker hideout, and for her to go do some stuff. Along with that, she had previously stolen some paint cans, or stolen. We'll say stolen at this point. She would like to argue it's not. So the Cypher said he did, and that he was going to assist her and kind of like, help her keep out of trouble, because there's a lot of stuff going on and it's not safe to go out alone. So with that, we're bringing the episode right into where we're starting today with the Sir Perior and Dawn have entered their mechs and they're raising up into this arena. So with that, we're going to go ahead and head over to the battle map. I'd like to keep in also point out that Eris, Scrat, and Chip are also in the arena kind of watching. And you guys feel free to, we're going to give you some time to kind of roleplay and kind of talk about what's going on while you guys are doing that. So we're going to head on over to that. And, let me get some music started up in here. It's a little quiet. So we have our arena, and let me zoom in a little bit more so I can. So the arena is, as Eris maybe wouldn't know. I know a couple people might not know as well, but for those who do know the games and Clash games, there is water surrounding the arena. They change it up every once in a while, but for right now, from this fight specifically, there's water around the arena. There is dirt on the outer edges with some stone and metal in the middle, some pillars, and there's some spare weapons on the top, and there are some buttons towards the bottom which change up the outer ring of water to some different options. So with that being said, we're going to grab us some tokens, and
Hey Zeus, we still see the main screen on Bluprint.
oh yeah, my bad. I haven't pulled up the tokens yet, so I was gonna wait. It's cool. Thanks, so let me pull out some tokens. I'm just gonna pull out one second. So as you guys are kind of raising out and stuff, I know Eris had gotten a what was it, a beer hat from Chip, had made one for him.
I got a beer hat and 2 straws that are currently in my mouth. Trying to suck it down.
Does it say #1 Clash fan on the front?
I hope not. I'd take it off and throw it into the middle of the ring.
No, it says Go Dawn.
Okay, yeah, I'd be rocking the crap out of that.
And as we're rising up in the mech, I imagine I can probably send a message over to Dawn. And I think I'll tell her, don't let the nerves get to your head. This is just one more fight. Don't underestimate yourself. I know I won't.
You just hear Dawn just like screech back, just like ah! Loud excitement noises.
Hey, Eris, did you hear that noise?
Yeah, Dawn's just excited.
Oh,
That's her excited noise.
I thought she got hurt or something. I didn't think they started yet.
She did it for 10 straight minutes the first time I took her to a Clash arena.
Oh, well, that wasn't too bad then.
Exactly.
To make it a little easier, I just marked your tokens with blue and red. I was gonna grab some actual mech pictures, but I was like, I don't technically own any, so I'm not gonna go too hard on that. And also, I had to spend some time on that awesome poster. If any of you guys want to check that out, that's in the Discord. So with that, you guys rise to the top. Yeah, thanks. I'll do that. You guys rise to the top and come out into this arena. There's lights flashing and everything's kind of the music's playing, and of course, what you guys do see is Dawn's mech is this towering, almost looks like a giant plated monster. It's so huge in comparison to Sir Perior's mech, and you can tell that it's sense of the size and how it lumbers over everything. It is definitely a slower moving mech, and that it has a giant great hammer that it carries at its side that has some saws and stuff inside of it. And on the other hand, he has a giant flamethrower that is like nestled into his wrist. And Sir Perior, on the other hand, you can go ahead and describe your mech.
Yeah, it's a very lithe model. The legs come back in almost kangaroo style, going down to little tripod feet that make it capable of gripping the ground very well and throwing itself off. Wrapped around its middle is a segmented belt that, in combat, he frequently would use as a whip. And of course, he wields a massive rapier at the side, looking almost like a coiled piece of Magitech glass, essentially, with white flame running all down the center.
And as you guys get a good look, from the towering mech that Dawn is inside of, flames just erupt from all of the crevices from inside the mech. From its chest and its mouth, its eyes, and everything, and it just starts glowing pretty heavily as the countdown starts lining up above everyone's head. And now you guys are starting. So everybody, or both of you, roll initiative to see about your mechs.
It's going to be a 19.
So, do we... Okay, so it's 11 for me.
Alright.
I'm a slow boy, it's all good.
So go ahead, Sir Perior.
Yes. So to begin, his mech's going to dash forward and back behind one of these columns here to get a good angle on Ripper's mech. And as he does so, two armatures pop out on either side of the head and project these images that seem to almost overlap the location of the mech as it dashes back and forth, and they cast blur. And that'll be it for my turn, I believe. I don't have anything I'd like to do with my bonus action at the moment.
Okay. Alright. Dawn, you're up. You're inside your mech for the first time, so as you kind of grip your hands around the controls and everything, how do you feel?
I'm feeling freaking sweet, my dude. Like, oh. I can see Superior's like sword, and she's just like staring at it, like, oh my god, that's gonna hit me soon. Oh my god. I'm gonna just try and like run towards him, and I want to try and grapple him if I can.
Okay. One of the things I didn't include on the mech sheet was the movement. Your movement would have been in terms of these blocking. It's gonna be it's about 20.
Okay.
I will say, just for the viewers and for everybody else, these squares, the 5 foot by 5 foot squares, these are actually 10 foot by 10 foot squares. They're just kind of, it's all simplified down, so that way it's a little manageable.
Okay, so I can only go here, right?
No, you can go 20 feet in terms of like how the application works, if that makes sense. Technically, like, you'd have 40 feet of movement, but because it's scaled down.
Oh, it's the other way around, I see. My bad. I thought it was half.
So,
my bad.
Yeah, so you could go to where that arrow is pointing. So right here would be 20 feet.
Cool.
So it's 20 feet.
I'm just gonna sit here and just stare at him in amazement.
Well, as she is trapped in these throes of admiration for Sir Perior, the mech begins gliding across the ground very, very rapidly, and I rip the belt off, unfurling the whip, and I'm going to attempt to hit Ripper's mech with my whip.
So you guys in the stands see kind of the hesitation on Dawn's end. So how's it going on over the stands?
Hey, Eris, where's Scrat?
I don't know. Where's Scrat?
Meanwhile, in the conference room, Scrat's just watching the screen, going like, "Whoa! Look at that thing go, Chip! Chip, Eric."
I have a 12 to hit.
All right.
Well, more beer for us then, Chip, huh?
Doesn't hit
Done!
me, my dude.
I don't really drink, but more beer for you.
All right.
So that's
That doesn't hit, my dude. It's a miss.
Yeah. With that, that'll be the end of my turn.
Alright. Well, seeing him try and whip me, I'm gonna move on forward, and I'm gonna try and grapple him this time again.
all right. So you run up and are trying to grapple. So go ahead and make those checks.
Is that just strength or? Let's see. Okay, well that's an 8.
Wow.
Well, 17.
Okay.
Wow.
So Dawn's mech just kind of comes up and attempts to kind of reach down and wrap itself around Superior's mech, and I believe Superior's mech is just so nimble and quick, it just kind of darts out the way and squeezes through the arms and stuff like that as it kind of comes down around him.
Hey,
See, Chip,
Eris,
this is why I hate Clash. They never hit each other. just boing boing. Ugh.
Well, as this lumbering mech towers towards me and tries to take this swipe, I think what I'd like to do is cast the Booming Blade as a bonus action. And that familiar breaking apart of the crystalline structure of the rapier happens again with the larger scale of the mech. And I'll take a stab, preferably towards the head of this mech.
If you can reach it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I believe that is an 18.
That is my AC.
In which case, 24 damage.
Nice.
And 8 of that would be thunder damage.
That's freaking swell.
Alright, so Chip,
and,
Scrat.
I'll-
Oh, go ahead.
As I thrust forward and make this dramatic cut against the robot, I think I'm just going to send a message over to Dawn and say, don't think about this as personal. I'm just proving a point.
No, it's cool. It's fun. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And as I'm saying that, I'm gonna use my giant ass hammer, and I'm gonna hit it two-handed at him. And that is a my god, 12 to hit. That's a new dice, and I want to get rid of him already.
hey, Eris, I thought Dawn knew what she was doing.
It's her first time, Chip. Give her a
Oh.
break.
Okay, I thought she was a pro.
She knows the moves, I think.
Okay.
She's trying, Chip.
I'm just gonna roll 20 from now on. I think I'm just gonna swap.
Not a bad idea.
Alright, so Sir Perior?
Yeah, as the big hammer comes swinging down in front of my mech, I'm going to disengage, and I think I want to head towards the switches down here on the lower end. And as I move down, I'll throw off a bolt of bright white energy that almost seems to chill the air around it as it tears towards the mech. And that should hit on a 19. Doing 8 damage and reducing your movement by 10 on that hit if you don't succeed the save, I believe.
What save is it?
Give me 1 second and I'll tell you. Let's see. Oh, terribly sorry. Give me just 1 moment.
So, Chip Harris and Scrat, as you guys see,
There's no save.
Sir Perior making some moves against Dawn and hitting some blows. What are you guys thinking?
Ooh.
I'm gonna send a message to Scrat and say, "Hey, Scrat, are you seeing this?
Yeah, dude. Maybe I should watch more of these.
Where are you? Are you not in here with us?"
I'm in here, this conference room. Oh, are you guys in the simulation?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. And I open up a panel on my arm and I do a couple of little programming hacking and I teleport Scrat into the arena.
Okay.
Not into the arena, next to us in the stands.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's a very
Just
big
to
difference.
clarify.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. I'm not trying to kill Scrat.
Just kill Scrat straight up.
Oh, he'd be fine.
Just turn his damage all the way down. That's fine. So, Scrat pops up beside you guys in the bleachers, and
Eris didn't hear me doing this, by the way, so to him, Scrat just randomly appeared.
Eris doesn't
Hey, guys.
even notice when Scrat appears. He's just like he's like holding on to one seat, and then he's got this one straw in his mouth, and he's just like real focused, just like not paying attention.
Shit, can I get one of those too?
Oh yeah, of course. And I'll do the thing with the programming again, and one will just appear in my hands, and I'll pop it on his head.
all right. So Dawn.
Okay, so seeing as the hammer's not really working either, I'm gonna try and grapple him again in a hug of death. That's a 23.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't get away from that one. I've got 8.
So I'm gonna hug him super tight, like I've always wanted to, just like in my dreams. Sorry, I've got to like type this out because. Okay, so that is 14 fire damage, and then
14 cuddle damage. That'll do.
and 10 cuddle damage.
10 cuddle damage.
I think as you
24.
yeah, definitely. As you attempt to cuddle me, I think I'm going to absorb elements on that.
Yeah. So as
using
Dawn's
that
mech
fire
kind of like
blast.
grabs him, and you guys all in the audience see as she actually wraps around him this time and pulls him in. Fire just starts blazing out the mech's chest and opens up, and there's some like buzzsaws like just ripping into his mech as he's like getting just cuddled. Cuddled.
My love, what are you about? Love.
And when I activate the absorb elements, basically a series of vents will open around the front and back of the mech and allow the fire to kind of pass through the majority of the mech. And what amount of it gets channeled into the blade will be used for the next attack.
Man, I am glad this is a simulation. Looks like
You're
people
not
get
supposed
hurt
to hug
doing
him, Dawn. You're supposed to crush him.
Suplex him.
Oh, jeez, I really need to make it out of this grapple, but I do lose concentration on the blur.
Okay.
And despite having to really want to break free, I think I'm going to try to take a stab at the mech using my rapier. Excellent, that's 24. 28 8 of which is fire.
Cool. So 28, did you say?
Yes.
Okay.
Then
Can I
don't have
use-
anything for a bonus.
Can I use my hellish rebuke on that?
Yes, you can.
You haven't written down what it is, second level. What do I roll for that? Sorry, my bad.
Oh,
2d8 and I get a save.
there you go.
Thank you.
So he makes his dex save. You roll those 2d8.
I succeed the save, so I'll take half. Or
7, so you'll
I'm
take.
17 on die.
He'll take
I
4.
apologize.
Yeah, you'll take 4.
So it'd be 23. Yes, 4 damage. Excellent, thank you.
So as Sir Perior like gets out of this grapple, all right, you didn't get out of the grapple, did you? Or did
No, I didn't.
No.
you just?
No.
Wow. So
Just
so
stabbing.
he's like stabbing in this grapple, and he's already getting flames just shot at him, and she's just like more flames just erupt from his actual
This-
neck.
The stab goes in, and it just puffs out even more fire from the wound.
All right. So Nick, go ahead.
Am I able to do the? I can do the hug of death again, right? Because he's still grappled.
Yeah, yeah, you can.
I'm gonna do that then.
I lean over to Chip and I say, "Hey, you should bring that Varia girl in here."
Varia, where'd you go?
To that you don't hear a reply.
I don't think she's around anymore. She must be out of range.
Out of range? Isn't this like a little facility?
That's a good point. Maybe she went outside to take a walk? But I don't know.
That is 14 damage. The hug gets like a bit tighter. You get a bit more squished and more fire pumps out into your face.
Oh, well, I can see you're not going to make this easy. I'm going to try to break that grapple. Oh, got a 10.
Do I need to counter roll for that? It's a 23.
No, he just has a DC to break out of.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you try and break out, and I'm just like, no. Me.
All right.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to end my turn.
All right. 1 second. So, Dawn,
Okay, so seeing him trying to break free,
I will
I'm
say
like,
you will run out of flames at this point.
yeah, I was
for the
gonna let
chest.
go. It's getting a bit hot in here, so I'm gonna let go. And then I'm gonna try and actually hit him with my my hammer two-handed. Again. Does a 16 hit?
No.
Oh, I let go and I just go to take another thing. And I completely misread where you were.
All you see is dust. As the dust comes up, he's just completely gone from that space.
You just gone.
Big mistake. You should have never let go. And I'm going to disengage and move, heading towards the buttons down here.
Chip, is it
That'll
just
be
me, or did
my
it
full
seem like
movement.
that hug was working?
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but you might know better than me.
I don't know. Hug him again, Don!
And then
Can I reply to this? I don't know if I can.
you can you can have your mech project the voice even further out.
I'll just be like, I'm trying.
And Don, can you post the question I asked in the Roll20 chat? I know you were doing something when I asked.
I did it.
Oh, that was you? Okay. I'm sorry. It didn't have a name. And then, Sir Perior, can you do that as well? And then,
Yes.
So he heads down that way. So Dawn.
I'm just gonna chase after him. Slowly chase.
All right.
Stay away.
Back to you, Sir Perry.
Yeah, as she's continuing to stomp towards me, the mech's going to dash down here to the switchboards, and I'd like to hit the button that opens up that main grate in the center, if that's possible.
Yeah. You know which one it is. So he hits a button, and as he does so, Dawn, you know what he's doing because you've seen this map and everything before. Everyone else who doesn't sees the grate in the center grate, which is this this part right here. The big darker square starts opening up, and as it does so, slowly, you can see underneath are what look to be giant rotating, basically blades that are just filling this pit.
And if that doesn't take my full action, I'd like to cast Blur again, hopefully.
Oh no, that would just be object interaction. You're good.
Excellent, thank you. Yes, I cast Blur, and I'll end my turn.
All right. So, Dawn, it's your turn again. Make sure if you attack him, it's disadvantage.
Does do I take any damage from that?
Oh, it doesn't. It's opening up slowly. It's not. It's not automatic.
I'm gonna head towards him again. And I'm going to cast Hold Person, 3rd level.
Ooh. Oh, I'm at 20! Oh.
All right. So as this kind of like warm yellow, like amber glow kind of like protrudes from your mech and kind of like shapes around his mech, he kind of just shrugs it off, and you can see it shatter over top of him, and it falls, and the particles fall away. Sir Perior?
He doesn't want me to hug him.
That's right, stay back. And I'm going to move around to here, and we'll try again with the whip. As I dash past, I want to try to wrap that around the arm that's got the hammer in it, if possible.
Okay.
Eris, I think you might be too quick for her.
And
I
that's
think
gonna be a
he's
16 to
cheating.
hit.
What was the roll?
Very effective. 16 to hit.
Okay.
That doesn't hit.
He tries to throw his whip out there and get it, and he doesn't. You're kind of able to, like, it wraps around you for a second, but you're able to like pull really easily and pull it off very quickly. So Dawn, it's your turn once more.
I am going to put a wall of flame in front of him. About, so it'd be 1, 2, here,
Oh,
so he can stop running from me. And I'm gonna move here, and I think that'll be my turn. It's an action, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna flash him my cannons.
yes, as this wall of flame erupts in front of me. I'm not going to be cornered by you. I think actually I'll stop just here. I will be disengaging with my bonus action, and I'll take a swing. Ooh, yeah, with the whip. With whip.
Scrat, you're looking awful quiet over there. And I look over, and both of the bottles of alcohol are just completely gone. Woo! Do you need more?
Fuck him up!
I will miss for the 12.
All right. Yeah, so you go by and you swing a strike towards Dawn's mech, and she kind of just turns her leg to where the heavy plate is, and it just kind of hits up and runs right off of it. and then you turn around and run off. So Dawn, it's your turn once more.
Woo!
I forget. Can I move the wall of flame? I don't think I can I?
No.
No. Alright, I'm gonna kind of chuckle, and I'm gonna go after him, and I'm gonna try and hit him, with my hammer that he wants to get. Is it disadvantage, right?
Yeah. Keep it.
Eris, why is it so hard to see?
Keep in mind,
That's
if you do the
superior.
one-handed, the one-handed, you have that follow-up with the sweep.
Oh, I'm doing it two-handed, but I
Okay.
missed.
Oh, you're good. Well, because I think something that I didn't point out earlier that I just totally missed was when you do the one-handed and the sweep isn't an attack roll; it's just a dex save.
Okay.
So, yeah. So she swings her hammer once more, two-handed at you, and crushes it into the ground, and you're able to dodge out the way.
And how open is the middle of the pit beginning to be at this point?
At this point, I would say I'll draw a little bit on it. So like you have, well, this is not what I'm. It's probably like open to about here.
Mhm. Right. So we're going to disengage. We're going to try again with the whip. And I believe 22 will hit.
And that's a soft grapple.
Correct. And that'll be 3 damage.
All right. So everybody else, as you see his whip kind of shoot out and wrap around, as you're gonna do the same limb. Well, both her limbs are on the hammer.
Yes. Yeah. We'll say the right for the sake of.
Okay, so his whip kind of wraps around Dawn's mech's right arm, and as it does so, you can see like these kind of plasma blades are kind of running along the whip, and it starts slowly constricting on her arm.
Yeah, and with that, I think I will end the turn.
Okay.
Okay. I am going to. Can I dragon's breath him?
Yep.
Okay. What do I roll for this? Sorry, I haven't got the. What do I roll for dragon's breath? Is it just a save?
But yeah, it's a save, and it should
Yeah.
be, I believe, 3d6 at second level, or if it's a third level, it'll be 4d6.
Yeah. What's the context beside it? Is it only second, or does it have one?
It doesn't have one.
Okay, cool. So whatever level you'd like.
Ninth.
So what's it for third level?
Second or third.
What's the roll for third level?
What's the preferred level?
No, the
Roll for third level.
Oh, okay. The third level. How much was that?
Yep,
Superior?
4d6,
There you
and I get a 21 on the save there.
All right.
Okay, so you'll take 5.
6.
5 or 6?
6. Always round up on the damage.
Eris, is Sir Perior's mech immune to fire or something?
I told you he's cheating.
I don't think that's possible.
Well, you
I
see
mean,
him kind of dodge out the way as hard as he can, and he does get decently enough away. And the initial hit doesn't hit him; it's more of like the flames that spread across the ground. Is what you do see. But I mean, continue with your conversation. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he can be cheating. Why do you think
Well, he
he's
did
cheating?
hit the button and then open the big blade spinny things in the middle of the thingy.
Is that not normal in Clash?
I don't know. I hate Clash.
I thought you worked there.
Let's just watch Don lose.
Scrat, what do you think?
I don't know. Just big bods going at it. I should get simulated drunk more.
Well, here, let me fill you up. I'll fill up.
So as the fans are getting semi-hammered, I'm going to...
Not semi.
Yes, yeah. I wanted to try and yank Dawn forward with the whip.
All right.
Oh, that's gonna be a 9.
If it's a contested thing, I'm not going to contest.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow. She likes getting whipped.
Are you?
So, as she's yanked forward, I would like to try to jump across the now opening pit if that's possible.
At this point, it would be fully open. You could.
Yes.
So, are you trying to? I assume you're trying to go like this way.
Yeah, I'd like to attempt to jump there.
Okay. I'll say that there to there is pretty simple. That doesn't require a roll. If you want to go further than that, that's up to you, though.
No. I think that's as far as I'd like to go. I do think that'll break the tether on the whip, won't it?
No, it still has range. How much?
Excellent. In which case, then I will just, in my turn there, I don't think I have anything for bonus action.
Do I get pulled when you jump? Or...
You don't. He pulled you before he jumped and kind of gave it some slack. So when he jumped over, it didn't like have a pull on it yet.
Did we notice that she didn't contest that?
You could tell that he pulled her forward, but you roll an insight check real quick.
It's a 6.
Oh.
All right. So John,
21. Yeah.
John, you can tell, or I'm sorry, Eris, you can tell for sure that you could tell that there was like definitely hesitation, and then that the mech should have been able to resist that pretty well. Chip, that's 1 second. Unfortunately, just for the viewers and stuff, our lovely Panda who plays Dawn is gonna have to leave right now. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna be taking over for her character. So I will be handling her side of things. However, we'll see kind of when we can get her to. I think she may be able to be messaging us kind of what her character is doing as we progress. So thank you so much for being here while you could, and again, you'll still be watching, so you'll still be here with us. So, all right. And then just 1 second while we have the other camera come on. There we go. Yeah, so you guys do notice, for the most part, that there's something going on. Eris, you do know for fact that is that Dom was able to handle that better, but Chip, you kind of doubt that this little tiny mech would be able to pull that giant mech so easily, but at the same time, you don't know if it was just footing or maybe his mech's really strong for some reason.
Maybe he is cheating, Eris.
I'm gonna like ignore Chip and send a message to Dawn and say, Dawn, you need to try to win. We need to know if he's any good for when we go to the mech place.
She's going to message back saying, 1 second, I'm trying to turn on the. There we go. She's going to say back that she doesn't feel that it'd be fair to take this away from him, and that it was only one time. She's really not giving everything to him.
Sorry, say that again.
She kind of replies that it was basically only that one little pull that she kind of didn't fully pull back on, and that you should be able to tell like for the rest of it. But for the most part, she's expressing that she wouldn't want to force him to lose this battle, whenever he cares so much about it.
Eris says back, yeah, but if he's not any good, we need to know that now.
And she says, she kind of basically gets a little upset about it and says that she can't.
Eris is just going to kind of sit back after that and just kind of like enjoy his drink, kind of chill.
She says that she's not giving him... She says that she is trying to fight, though. She's not just like kind of like letting him kick her around. And as she... it's her turn, correct? Sorry.
Yes, that is correct.
So with that, she's going to... pull to a one-handed and swing at you with the hammer, and of course after coming up to you. 1 second, I'm trying to pull up a lot of stuff here at the same time. All right, here we go. So she moves the mech around, and she attacks with one-handed warhammer, and the other one with the flamethrower kind of following behind it. Of course, the whip is still around the hand, so she's going to get a disadvantage, I believe. Correct? So she's going to get disadvantage on that warhammer attack, and then the flamethrower is going to come right behind it.
I have a 13 on the save against the flamethrower.
All right. Yeah, she's going to... miss. The warhammer, because it's being constricted by the whip, is going to like swing at you and kind of like not have enough give to really aim very well. But the follow up with the flamethrower is going to do let's see, what was your save?
13.
Yeah, so we'll say that you're gonna take we'll say that doesn't pass, and that's gonna be 3 damage, or excuse me, 6 damage total. My bad, I was thinking of it passing. So 6 flame damage to you.
All right, next over here.
Eris, this is awesome. How do you not like Clash?
I think I'm empty. Can you help me out?
Sure. Scrat, what do you think?
Well, what was that?
I said, how does he not like Clash, right? Isn't this awesome?
It's pretty cool to me. I need to watch more of this.
Actually,
And as this gout of flame washes over me, I'm going to dash back and begin the process to cast Magic Missile, which inside of the mech looks a lot like a very dramatic dance before the chest of the mech kind of bursts open and these 3 orbs fly out towards the other mech, or 4 orbs in this case, I apologize. And 13 damage as these magic missiles fly out of the mech and strike Ripper's mech.
okay.
And I'll tell Dawn, this may be a chance for you to show your stuff, but don't give it to me that easy.
And she kind of says okay in a very timid voice, as I imagine all of you can imagine. And she kind of moves up once more and is going to cast Hold Person once more.
All right. That's only 14.
All right. So yeah, that's going to pass. But you're once again, you guys all see kind of this like glow come off the mech down to his mech and start surrounding him, but you see it shatter as it's starting to fully wrap around him, and then she's
Let me check something real quick. Chip's gonna kind of check just to see if the program's running okay.
While you do that, she's going to kind of move a little closer to you, like on this end right here, and then
Kick him in.
with that being said,
That's what I've
Chip,
been stressed about.
Chip, you kind of look into the settings and all that kind of stuff, and everything seems to be running normally. There doesn't seem to be anything going on wrong.
Yeah, Eris, everything looks good. Actually, I really don't think he's cheating. You don't think Dawn is letting him win, do you?
I think she might be. I don't think Dawn ever intended to win this fight.
Really?
Mm.
That doesn't seem right.
Quit throwing.
Shh. She can't beat her hero. You have to understand.
I mean, I thought you're not supposed to meet your heroes. I didn't know there was a rule about beating them.
Oh,
Alright, so Sir Perior?
so yes, I think I'm gonna move up. Let's try another hit with the whip. I will be using my bonus action to disengage.
I believe she still had the whip on her, correct?
Oh yes, yeah, you're absolutely right.
So the damage, I needed to
be
tally up the
1d4
damage from
at
that.
the start of the turn.
Yeah,
Sorry
from
about
last turn as well.
that. It'll be 2 damage.
Okay, and Dawn, if you don't mind sending me the health of your mech whenever you left, so I can make sure I have it accurately written down.
Then I suppose I'd like to try to leap across this pit again. Just the short 10-foot gap, rather.
Okay.
And then attempt to hopefully pull this mech towards the pit.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
So
so how much?
It's going to be 24 on the pull.
How much was the damage from the whip, the lasering or the tightening?
2.
2 damage. Can you roll one more from the previous turn? We didn't do that one.
And that's 4.
Okay, so total to 6.
Yes.
All right.
And then 24 on my attempt to pull the Ripper's mech into the pit.
Okay. The mech is actually unable to kind of withstand you pulling. And kind of gets pulled the total of how many feet is it?
I believe we have it at 5 foot.
Yeah, so pulls to about right here. And then is it going to be the end of your turn?
Yes, that'll make up the end of my turn.
You didn't use an action, did you?
I would think pulling the mech forward was the action, yeah?
No, I kind of had that as kind of like a kind of like a free action almost, because of the fact that it was already attached, almost like a part of movement.
In that case, yes, I'm gonna use the rest of my action to move. I would imagine at this point the whip probably does break its connection.
Yeah.
But,
so as you keep going, it's going to pull on the mech until it kind of gets to a point where it's gonna have to be released, and whenever it gets released, it actually is going to be left up to Dawn. Kind of grabs what's wrapped around as it pulls away from you and holds firm. So as you pull away, it actually snaps on your end, leaving the whip behind.
All right. And that's it, yeah.
So, on her turn, she's going to cast a. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I don't use spells that she's already used. Spell slots, excuse me. So we have one of those, one of those, one of those. Yeah, so she's gonna cast Firebolt at your person. That's going to be a total of, yeah, it's only going to be a total of 16.
Yeah, that won't hit.
So with that, she's going to also kind of move towards you as well. And the turn. So you guys watching and stuff see kind of this off and on battle going back and forth, and you do see her kind of rip his whip off as he runs away.
Eris, how does this not make you want to have your own mech? Like, seriously.
This is so boring.
What?
You know, the worst part is I'm going to have to listen about this fight for the next 18 months.
We should all get our own mechs and then have them combine.
What? You can do that? Eris, you can do that? You didn't tell me that.
I don't know anything about Clash, but I feel like if that was possible, Don would have told me about it.
Oh. Scrat. I was really excited about that.
I was too.
So at this point, Sir Perior, it's your turn.
Yes. What I would like to do is dash up here to this column, and I want to see if I can drop that column onto Ripper's mech in the hopes that it'll knock him into that pit full of saws.
All right. So make an attack roll on the base of the column.
All right. That's going to be 20 to hit the base of the column.
I'll say that's with enough accuracy as well to kind of hit where you're wanting. Yeah.
That'll be 19 damage to the base of the column there.
All right. It is kind of a stone column, so it only has a health not too high. So whenever this happens, you crumble out the bottom and it starts to fall towards her mech. Let me do this. All right, so it actually does fall in the direction that you were kind of hoping for after you kind of chipped away at the corner of it. We see freehand. There we go. So it falls in this direction, and this is a really large column, so it's gonna fall all the way up to right here. And as it falls, she's gonna make a dex saving throw, and that was a 2. Plus,
yes.
So the column actually smashes down. So she attempts to grab it with her hands at the same time, and she rolls a 25 to hold up this column. So she's going to, the mech's hands are going to grab it, and she's just going to actually drop her great hammer when she grabs it and just be holding this column up. However, it is very heavy, and it is requiring her to like maintain this kind of this pose and kind of hold it up as hard as she can with the mech.
Push it off, Don. You got this.
So we'll say that her next action, because it's her turn now, is going to be to attempt to kind of push it to the side without letting it crush down. She kind of is able to maintain the maintain it being held up, but she's unable to kind of like, she gets it kind of this. She has it kind of like over the shoulder, but she's not like, if she lets it go, it's just gonna rip down the half of the body. So that will bring it back to your turn.
All right. What I'd like to do is aim for the armpit joint of the arm that it's shouldered on.
Oof. Okay. Go ahead.
Holy, that's 25 to hit.
Oh, jeez.
You tickle her, and she laughs hysterically.
Tickle of death instead of hug.
And that's another 21 damage.
So you actually are able to you get the mech down to where when you stab at it with your rapier, it kind of destroys most of the armor coating the chest and kind of shoulder area, and whenever you do so, the rest of the slash kind of like rips through most of the front component, and fire starts leaking out. And whenever this happens, she's going to roll to keep the she rolls a total of a 19, so she's going to be able to keep that up just barely as she does so. But she's going to turn and kind of, while she's holding this up, she's going to cast Hellish Rebuke whenever you strike as a reaction.
That'll be 18.
Okay. That's going to be a total of... You said 18?
Yes.
Okay, so it's going to pass, and that's going to be 6 damage and fire.
Right.
And whenever this happens, it's now her turn, so she's going to attempt to kind of drop this, to use all her strength to just shove this column over and actually have it land on your mech.
Guys, Dawn isn't looking like she's in good shape here. Guys? Guys?
She rolls...
I'm not sure Perry's gonna be either after this.
She rolls an 18, and the way this is gonna work is, I had in my head 20 was the pass to throw it off, 15 was lose control. So with that, I'm gonna say, as she pushes this towards you, she's unable to like get her arm out from under it, which causes it to fall on you, but it's also gonna pull her down and crush her arm, her mech's arm underneath it as well. So I need you to make a dex saving throw with a DC of 22.
Oh, well, I fall just short at 20.
So with that, you're gonna take, let's see how much damage this is gonna be.
If I kill myself with the pillar I dropped, I'm gonna be upset.
So you said 20 though?
Yeah.
So we'll say that you got half. We'll say that you like got out enough for it to not completely just land all the way on you, but it just kind of took some of the damage from it. So you're not going to take the full damage from this. Neither is she, because her mech is not fully under it either. So you're going to be taking a total of 8 damage. And you're going to
Eris stands up, and he's like, she's winning. She's losing. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know either. I just know it's awesome.
Get him!
I'll,
You good?
the pillar is fallen and crushed her arm. If I was to shove the end of this pillar, would I be capable of catching her mech and trying to continue to shove it into this pit?
Well, you'd have to get your mech out from underneath the...
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. I am underneath it as well. Shit. Well, I guess I'm going to try to get out from underneath the pillar.
Let's say your one of your arms and kind of like a piece of your hip is also like is what's lodged underneath. So make that roll.
Hey,
Would
Eris.
that be strength, dex?
Strength.
Oh,
Unless you would
okay,
like
that's-
to just cut it, disconnect
Alright.
it. I mean,
That's a good point.
Eris, you remember the time that you said that they never hit each other?
Eris is not paying attention to you. He's like on his feet. He's like waving his shirt. He take his shirt off. He's like waving it in the air. Get him, Don! Knock him down! Kick his ass!
I'm sitting down and I still can just look over and look him in the eye.
Yeah, I think I'd have a better chance with my free arm trying to stab the pillar with my rapier and smash it to bits.
mm-hmm.
12.
All right. So you're able to kind of get your hip out and stuff, and most of your arm out, but it's still like down to your wrist.
All right, that'll be the end of my turn. I don't think I have anything else I can do.
All right. So she's gonna try to. So she just decides to remove the arm that is underneath, which is her right arm. So that's gonna be her her flamethrower part anyway, and she just kind of disconnects it, and as ripping it off, she gets up and looks around for her hammer, and she's gonna pick it up, and while you're stuck under the pillar, she's going to take the hammer, and she's gonna slam it down, attempting to hit you, which she's going to get advantage for you being stuck there. That's going to be 18 plus 6. Yeah, so she's going to hit. And it's going to be one-handed, so that's going to...
Oh, I'm not the only one getting hammered.
Yeah, Eris doesn't have a shirt on anymore.
Woo!
And I think Sir Perior's lost it. He's attacking the column instead of Dawn.
It's going to be 10 damage.
Yeah, your aim sucks!
Okay.
Hey, Chip, this is a simulation, right?
You're right. I completely forgot.
Can you get me like a little glove, like a big glove, and make it say like Dawn's number 1 or something like that?
Like big for me or big for you?
Like my size, me size, but fits on my hand.
Okay. I give him one that's exactly the size of his hand, but just like a little bit, and it says it in little tiny letters, like that.
No, but this will work. Go, Dawn! Get him!
So, I suppose my question is, how bad is Ripper's mech looking at this point?
Trash. Like there's like sparks and like oil spewing out of it that's catching on fire every once in a while.
I figured. I think I'm just gonna take a swing at Ripper's mech with the rapier and cast the booming blade with it.
All right.
Hopefully we can survive. Okay, that's 24 to hit.
You hit.
Oh, the trash damage. It's gonna be 19.
19 damage. So you stab up this rapier into just kind of thrusting it up. So where are you hitting her mech?
I suppose at this point I'd be aiming for the side of the body where the arm has been ripped off, hit the exposed pieces of the mech.
Okay, so you kind of like aim. You're still pinned down, so you're not able to get like a full reach. But you do kind of like swing up and pierce up into the hip. And as you do so, you kind of see that you dislodge one of the hip joints on the right side, causing the leg to kind of start falling off. And as it does so, the mech kind of just slowly starts to like leak fluid on its side until it just completely pops out of its joint. And when it does, it just sways backward and falls back into this giant saw pit.
Chip goes, Dawn, no! Completely forgetting that it's a simulation.
Yeah, and as this, as she careens into the pit, I want to see if I can just smash the remaining bit of the pillar that's holding me down, and if I can, break free.
Yeah, go ahead and make a roll for that. Or do like yeah, just do an attack roll. That's fine.
Yeah, that'll be 16 to hit. That'll be 10 damage. 11, sorry.
So, yeah, you do enough damage to the broken pillar to kind of bust it up and chip enough off of it for you to get out. And when you do so, you now have free range of your body.
Yeah, I'll raise my mech up to its full standing position, and as a throwback to my days in the arena when I used to fight, the whole front of the mech kind of swings up and away, revealing the face of Sir Perior looking out at the crowd. And as I look out at all of them, I say, finally, you can all see the truth of this battle. It was Frisbee. It was Frisbee and his fake parts and his cheating. I knew I could beat Ripper, and now you've all seen it.
And as you say this, you're gonna notice that the empty stands and stuff are gonna slowly start filling up with people, all holograms, that just start cheering and stuff, kind of like how it used to be whenever you'd win your battles.
It's been so long since I've heard the call of the arena like this. I told you. Told all of you. Wait. Is Dawn alright? Chip. Turn off the simulation. Is Dawn alright?
Yeah. And I'll do a quick couple taps, and I'll have her appear right in front of his mech, outside of her mech.
And she appears, and she's fine. I think she'd probably run up and like hug your mech's leg or something, if I had to guess.
She might be able to climb up the leg. He kind of stoops a bit when he's doing that, yeah.
And probably
that's her signature move, guys.
And wanting to join in, Chip's gonna jump like over the stands, and forgetting that there's water there. It's just completely...
Nice.
Aerosol walks slowly up to them and look at Dawn and be like, I didn't enjoy any of that.
And she's gonna kind of.
But good job. You did a great job out there.
I think she'll smile, say thanks, and say that she didn't actually throw at the end there, and that he did actually do all that to her.
Mm-hmm. Eris he kind of nods, but he looks like pretty skeptical. He's just gonna go with it.
I would like to try to climb out of the mech and go down to where everybody is. I'll wrap an arm around Dawn like that, you know. That was a good fight, kid. Keep trying like that, and well, I think you could be a mech pilot someday.
I think she'd probably be blushing and probably like jumping and like being like, "Do you really think so? Do you really think so?" Maybe shock a little bit. I'd imagine she might go a little speechless there. Because of that one.
Chip and Eris I'll look at them and I'll just say, so, what do you think? Seeing a real champ in the arena again. It's been far too long.
I'm gonna walk up, soaking wet, and be like, "That was awesome. I agree. Dawn's a champion."
She sure is, buddy. She sure is. Now, I don't know about you, but I could use some drinks after that.
Sure. And I give him one of the hats. Put it on his head.
Are these drinks doing anything for us?
Yes, in the simulation.
Yeah.
Oh, so we can be getting drunk. Like, I could be drunk right now. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
You'll feel
You're
it.
not?
I should be. I've had like 4 drink and I'm a halfling, yeah.
This isn't nothing to you.
Now, tell me, Chip, did Varia see any of that? Maybe that'll put to rest all that whining about simulations being worth nothing.
I just kind of look down and I really don't think so, Mr. Perior. I tried to call her, but I think she left the facility.
Well, sounds like a cloud drifted off. We're all better for it.
Well, here's where we'll kind of spin off and say, while all this was going down, meanwhile, Varia is, whenever they started this fight, had just left the compound with Cypher out into the city with a can of spray paint and some love in their hearts. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
You're jumping things a little bit
I'm,
there.
yeah,
Jumping
I'm just
like
kidding.
a lot. Actually, you know what? You might not be jumping for Cypher. I don't know. Jumping for Varia.
I'll go ahead and preface that was a joke. So in the reality of it, though, they are leaving the compound and they're heading out to for what Cypher knows. Varia says she needs to take care of something. He's tagging along. So you guys empty out onto the from the opening that you remember entering whenever you first met him, and you're back in this little alleyway.
Okay, Cypher. What do you know of this area? I know you've lived basically your whole life in the compound. How much have you actually gone up into the streets, into the real world?
A handful of times.
A handful of times. And how old are you?
You do not simply ask that with such negative connotations.
Well, can you get me to a large open place that doesn't have a lot of Prometheus guard rotations?
You think we picked this spot just simply for its dashing location?
I don't know why you picked this spot. I'm asking you if you can get me to a spot where I can do a painting.
And I'm saying that this simply isn't a place that guard rotations exist.
Okay, well, I need a large, empty place that doesn't have a lot of Promethean guards, but does have a lot of foot traffic. Take me there, and maybe I'll buy you a cookie on the way back. You do know what cookies are, right?
You do know what annoying is, don't you?
Yes, it's you.
Okay. And with that, he'll kind of lead off in a direction after closing his book and continuing down these alleyways. You find yourself spilling out into an area that seems to be kind of like a miniature park of sorts. It's not an outdoor type park. It's more of like a little tiny cement area with little fountain and all this other stuff. Some benches. So looks like there's some kind of art, I guess, light show type thing. It's basically the easiest way to say this is it's a hologram that kind of covers the top of the fountain, like raised up about 20 feet, that shines different colors that are constantly changing into different, spheres, shapes, all these kind of different three-dimensional stuff. And as you kind of come out, I will change over to the overlay real quick. So. You come out and you see this kind of fountain with these.
Are there
these
people
lights.
around?
There does not seem to be anyone around at the moment. It is kind of very early in the morning.
Cypher, during the actual daytime, do people walk through this area? It'd be a shame for me to do an art installation for no one to see.
He's going to kind of give you an odd eye and then say, if you think I wouldn't bring you as a joke or something to somewhere there like you just mentioned, then I wouldn't know
Cypher,
you.
I don't know you. I don't trust you. You're gonna have to forgive me being a little bit wary, as you tried to stab me yesterday.
And you tried to steal my things?
You gave them to me.
All right. Well, in that case, yes, you have to trust me because you are not from here, and I am the only thing around here that you can even talk to that won't probably report you to Prometheus. So, yes, you must take my word. Yes.
Can you stand guard? Will you stand guard?
Standing isn't necessarily my forte. I'll drift in the shadows.
I don't care what you do as long as no one walks up and interrupts me.
All right. I'll keep one eye on my book and one eye on the streets. And as he says so, he'll dip down into the shadows and you see him disappear.
So she's going to go to wherever there's a large empty wall. And she's going to start in the bottom right-hand corner. And she takes out the cans of spray paint and her painter's tools with brushes. And in the bottom right-hand corner, she's going to paint the figures of a couple small children. They're kind of huddling and they look scared, but they're looking off over to the right. In front of the children, she's going to take her spray paint and spray paint to put a large shield. As she does that, she's going to move over to the side. And as she's doing this, she's looking around, making sure that there's nothing coming, no one's seeing her. Coming from the shield is an arm. And the arm connected to a body. And as she continues painting, she is going to paint the figure of Cypher holding the shield in front of the children. And then at the top left in large words, she's going to write Prometheus lies. And then as she finishes her painting, she's going to brush her hands off, put her emptied spray paints in the fountain, and she's going to look around for Cypher.
As you kind of look around, as you're kind of brushing your hands off, you see you see out of the corner of your eye some people approaching, and as you do so, a hand slips out from the shadow at your feet and kind of grabs you and pulls you through the shadow, and you kind of find yourself getting coming out of the shadow, and Cypher has his hand over your mouth and he's kind of holding you really close, up against a corner, and he goes, "Shh, there's people."
You could have warned me that was how you were going to get me out of there if there were people. That was the fucking most terrifying thing I've ever done.
I wanted to let you finish, honestly. You told me.
Okay.
Always gotta let her finish.
Thanks, Cypher.
He kind of peeks around the corner, and then he comes back and says, Oh, one second. My dog is crying out my door. He's like, "Let me in." Let me let him in.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I will say that Simuboo isn't too
Listen
bad.
to a
on the
dog
real
whining
stuff.
in the background. All right. So, stop. All right. So he's going to kind of say, I'm sorry. What was the last thing you said? I'm sorry.
I said that was the most terrifying thing that I'd ever done.
Yeah. So he's going to say, so all that fighting, and you're going to say that was the most terrifying thing?
I've been fighting since before I can remember. This fighting is nothing.
He peeks back one more time, and then he comes back and he says, you know, you did a very good job drawing me on the wall there. But I didn't really ask you to draw me on a wall in front of everyone.
And I didn't ask you to come.
And you would have also been caught if it wasn't for me.
I don't think I would have gotten caught.
If you say so. And he kind of dips back down into the shadow.
I'm gonna look around to see if I can see where he went.
As you turn the corner, you see him standing in front of the painting, kind of rubbing his chin while, like, just observing it.
I'm gonna walk up to him. So, do you tell your daddy everything? Can he see through your eyes? Can he see where you are right now, what you're doing?
It kind of comes with the territory, unfortunately.
Do you ever do things he doesn't want you to do?
Oh, all the time, but that's why Chip is his favorite.
What? Are you telling me that favoritism equates to locking someone up in your family?
Oh, you must be new to the family, dear. Obviously.
Oh, I don't have family, and I don't understand people that do. We should probably get back. Did you want that cookie before we get back?
He's like slowly walking up to you, and you rarely hear him walk because he like uses his shadow teleportation all the time. So like the clicking of his shoes is just like very stark as he walks up, and he says, "What would you say? Someone keeping someone else from getting hurt is equivalent to?"
I mean, I'd say it's foreign.
Now, while Father doesn't exactly show his affection very well, it doesn't mean he doesn't have emotions. Many people around this city, as he kind of gestures around him and looks around and says, they define love as obeying and sufficiency of supplying everyday things like meals and money. Don't you think that's very different?
I don't believe in love. I don't believe in obeying. And prior to yesterday, I'd actually never been protected by anyone until Chip protected me from your dagger.
Well, to be fair, have you ever thought about the fact that we all have a voice inside of us, and we, whether or not we believe it or not, obey it, do we not?
Go on.
Well, see, the thing is, if I wish to do something, for instance, draw a picture of you, there's a little part of me that says that I must do it. And if I do not do that thing, it is surely, from what I've learned, showing disrespect to yourself. So obeying something is not as much a hindrance as it is showing of this love. And whether or not love seems foreign, you've probably been loving yourself longer than you realized.
Myself is the only person that I love.
Yes. It doesn't have to be that way.
We'll see.
He turns around and he pulls his book out and starts writing some stuff down. Or you see him like just going at it.
What's with the books?
What's with the paintings?
Do you want the short answer or the long answer?
I want silence while I write, please.
Duly noted. She's going to start walking back towards the way that they go very slowly. Like, she's not leaving him behind. She's just starting to head back that way.
As you kind of head towards the alleyway that you guys came from, as you kind of look back, you see him, sketching or kind of going or whatever, just drawing and writing through his book. And eventually, as you look back, maybe like the 7th or 8th time, you see he's gone. And as you turn around, he's sitting on a bench in front of you.
Do you always do that? That's kind of disconcerting.
I mean, how else you propose I You're suggesting I walk all the time? That's absurd.
No, it's prudent and practical. You have legs, you could use them.
That's like asking me to not use the shadows is like attempting to tell you to not use paint. It's just not going to happen.
Okay, I can understand that.
And he'll turn around and kind of walk with you for a while.
Are you getting tired? How are your legs doing?
I'm sorry, that's just so savage. I couldn't hold that. That's too mean. All right. He's just gonna kind of look over at you and say, well, to be honest, I have to keep my athletic ability up, so I do train and walk, but I try to make sure I use my teleportation just as often.
You gonna tell me about why you like books?
There's something about the form of leaving something behind. Always puzzled me.
She's like hearing what he says and like kind of absorbing everything that he had just said, and like a small smile comes across her face.
And he's gonna continue and say, see, you've noticed that many a part of my life is not leaving a trace, so it kind of rubs me a weird way when I think about the concept of leaving something. And he kind of runs his fingers across his book.
So, the concept of leaving something rubs you the wrong way, and yet you still write?
Yes, everything in my life tells me not to leave something behind for safety or for another reason, but I think it's unusual. It's unhuman to not wish something of yourself to be remembered or acknowledged.
Oh, Cypher. We might be more alike than you think.
Yes. Maybe we all just want something we can't ever achieve. And as he says that, you guys kind of pull back up to the door, and he kind of does the stuff to open it up after looking around, and he says, "You know, if you all leave tomorrow, or whenever you're ready, if you ever need anything, just have Chip send me something, and I'll... Whether or not he believes it or not, I do care about the fool. So...
All right.
Well... I do have a question for you before we go inside regarding your paintings.
Okay.
See, I like to collect knowledge about books and literature and writings, and I stockpile them here, but I don't have really the ability to get my hands on any paintings. So have you ever come across in your work paintings that aren't from our time, if that makes any sense to you?
Once or twice.
What were they of, if you don't mind my asking?
Stars. Flowers. This weird cylindrical red and white thing that said Campbell's. There's a couple others. I could paint one for you if you'd like.
Oh, that would be very nice. Perhaps, there's a lot of writing about the use of cylindrical objects to worship gods back in the days before Eden. Perhaps Campbell's was one of the gods they worshipped. And he says this as you guys are walking inside.
It's possible. I don't know. It seemed a little crude to me. The lines were more stark than I would assume a god would be portrayed as, but
Yes.
and again, we worship an AI, so...
Yeah. Well, we all have to worship something. I once read a piece of work that explained people that worshipped some kind of garment. I think it was underwear, and then they go into he leads you through the doors and opens the very front entrance, and you guys kind of go inside. And at this, you see all of Sir Perior and the rest of the people kind of having a discussion in the conference area.
So, hypothetically speaking, Don, could one mech like combine with another mech and make a bigger mech?
Chip looks on expectantly, waiting for the answer.
Eris says, or excuse me, not Eris. Dawn says that she doesn't know, but she's never tried.
Nah, it just seems like it'd slow the whole process down. Keep it lightweight, keep it fast, and then they won't have a chance of stopping you.
Chip's very disappointed.
Dawn's just nodding as Sir Perior talked.
I mean, look at it. That big towering mech fell down like a sack of bricks. You keep it like that, that's all you can expect.
I guess so. It just sounded so cool. I still want my own mech, though. How do you design it?
Well, Chip, I can introduce you to some people, and I'm sure Don could give you a few pointers. Maybe that's something we can do if we take a look at that underground ring.
Yeah, I've been asking Eris some questions, but he doesn't seem to really want to talk about it.
Yeah, well.
As you guys approach and hear that end of that conversation, Cypher's going to turn to you, Varia, and basically nod and say that you can. He's going to be like, you can keep the paints in case you ever need them. And he'll nod and kind of just turn around to walk off.
She'll give a small wave.
And he'll wave back with his book in hand, and kind of. Actually, he'll turn around like as he's kind of like getting pretty far away and be like, I'll be waiting for those pictures.
You're going to be sending pictures to that guy?
He wanted to see paintings from before.
Oh, well, that puts me a little bit more at ease. You missed
What would
the
it
match.
matter if... I mean, it was a simulated match.
Yeah, well, best match you missed out on.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. Maybe I'll ask to see if I can see the replay later.
Matter of fact, we better ask Chip if he made a backup of that. I'd like to have it myself.
Yeah, I can do that for you, Mr. Perior. Hold on a second. I take out a disc and hand it to him.
You know, Chip, I still am not sure about you, but at least you make an effort, unlike some people around here.
I certainly try.
Perry, I'm not even going to give you the benefit of a response to that.
You just did. That, and you assumed I was talking about you. I never said who.
You looked right at me.
Well, you paint with whatever brushes you paint with, remember? Whatever you see in your head is the reality, right?
No, that's not right. Don't
well.
act like you know me, Perry.
And like you do, too? Well, it ain't no matter anyway. We need to find that man some work.
We do.
Dawn's going to... After the battle, when you guys get there, Varia, you notice that Dawn's not exactly around, and everyone else would have known that after the battle, she actually went to Bluprint's office, and he started working on the upgrade for her.
So where'd Dawn go?
Getting work done by that Bluprint.
Okay. Glad you guys trust him enough to let him do it. All right.
If it was me, I wouldn't let him, but not really my business, is it?
It'll be okay.
Where were you when everybody else was watching the match? That's a good question to ask, I suppose.
Yeah.
I was painting.
And you came back with Cypher, right?
He wouldn't let me go by myself.
That doesn't sound like Cypher. He basically, like, when I leave, he says, you know, run fast, take chances.
He told me he cares about you.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Cares about me? Like...
I mean, he threw around the words love and family.
I mean, yeah, we call ourselves family, but love? Really?
Pretty sure he was referring to you.
Are you sure that wasn't an illusion? Are you sure it was actually him?
I mean, he grabbed me and dragged me through the shadows. Could an illusion drag me through the shadows?
He did what?
He grabbed you. I pull up a simulation of a little character, like a little hologram, and I said, "Show me on the hologram where he grabbed you."
And I point to my ankle.
Oh. Okay. I guess that's not too bad.
What do you mean that's not too bad? There were people, then they were going to catch me, and he made it so that I didn't get caught, as I was maybe or maybe not graffitiing an entire wall.
You did a painting?
Yeah, I did. I needed to.
What did you paint?
A picture.
Of what?
It's what the painting is of doesn't really matter. There's really more of a deeper meaning to the paintings. You have to see what's behind the painting to know what it means.
Was Cypher in it
Avoiding the
again?
question, huh?
I won't answer the question, Perry. No, I'm sorry.
Was Cypher in it again? Did you paint another picture of him?
Wait, another picture of Cypher? You'd already drew one?
I drew a picture of you too, Perior.
Well.
Were you more accurate with the muscles this time?
And I just walk away.
Eris is gonna follow after Varia when she walks away.
I'm gonna slap Chip on the back and say, "Good job, Chip."
Good job for what?
Don't worry, you'll figure it out.
Oh, okay.
Eris is gonna like kind of tug on your shirt to get your attention, Varia.
She is gonna whip around like with her paintbrush out and pointing towards you.
Whoa, easy, down here. Were you just being nice, or are you really gonna watch that fight back?
If there's a copy of the fight, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea for me to watch it so that I can see if we do end up going to the wreckers, what might be
So
happening.
I think Dawn could have won. I need you to like double check that when you look through the tapes, because I think you've seen more Clash matches than I have.
I've been to a lot of galas at the Clash Arena. Actually watching the matches, I can try, but
I don't have experience either. Just when I was talking to Dawn during the fight, it didn't seem like she was planning on winning.
do you want to watch it again too?
I think a second opinion would be better.
Okay, I'll watch it, but if you want to watch it with me, I know you like Dawn a lot. Maybe you want to see her with her mech again?
All right, just don't tell her I watched her fight again.
I won't tell her that you've watched her fight again if you won't tell Perry that I actually watched his fight.
Okay, deal. He holds up a pinky.
She very, is looking at the pinky and trying to decide whether she's actually going to do it. And then, after 3 seconds, she, eventually clasps pinkies.
Nice. It's a deal.
Okay.
So you guys head off to go. Are you going somewhere to watch it? I assume. Is that kind of the gist? Are you watching it now? I assume.
Yeah, we're gonna go off to watch it right now.
All right. So do you have a preferred place you'd like to watch it?
Somewhere private.
I think there's a bathroom.
I'm not bringing Eris into the bathroom with me.
So
Hey guys, I just gotta go check on Fluffy real quick. She hasn't been eating well lately, so I'm gonna go talk to the guys in the kitchen. Okay, bye.
Okay.
What
Scrap,
does
what
that
the hell
thingy?
was that about?
What do you mean? He has to go check on Fluffy.
Yeah,
What
sure.
does that thing eat anyway? I don't even.
Is there a pantry in the kitchen that we could go to watch it?
yeah, the actual kitchen itself is a separate room than the dining room, so you guys could chill in there.
Okay.
Varia knows this place well. She slept there.
I did.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm gonna walk into the kitchen and walk over to near the stove where there's a screen next to the stove, because that's where all screens should be inside of the kitchen.
Yep.
And
On the refrigerator.
and I figure out a way to pull up the match.
Cool. So you pull it up in the recent data logs, and you guys start watching this. So it's going to take them a little bit of time while they're watching this. Whenever they head off and stuff, what are you guys up to?
Well, while they're heading off, I'd like to turn to Scrat and say, all right, Scrat, so we've been here a little while now. We found out where they keep the good booze yet?
I can't quite figure out where they keep it. I've been trying to keep an eye on Chip and Cypher. I don't really know where.
Nah, you don't gotta worry about them too much. If they wanted us dead, we'd already be. Besides, I think Chip wants to help us. Isn't that right, Chip?
Well, if Cypher wanted us dead, we'd be, but I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever you said is probably true. I didn't really catch that, but...
Well, I was just saying, you want to help us out, don't you, Chip?
Of course.
Well,
what can I do?
Maybe you could point us in the direction of where Father keeps the good booze. Because that stuff they brought out for breakfast was all right, but...
How good?
Oh, well, the best in the house if you can find it. We gotta celebrate. This is a time for celebration.
Well, the best stuff he keeps in his desk.
Anyway, you think we could get our hands on that chip, or you think he'd...
You think you can give us a hand with that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure he would know if I tried. I don't think he could tell if you guys tried, if you did well enough, but he would definitely know if I was there, because he kind of knows where I am all the time.
That is a good point, Chip.
I mean, I'd like to help you, but...
Well, then let's say what's the second best, and where can we find that? No sense getting you in trouble with your dad.
The second best? That's probably Cypher's room.
Sounds like we gotta go pay old Cypher a visit. Besides, I got some questions I want to ask about Varia.
Alright. Sounds like a plan to me. I think I can help out with that one.
So you guys head off to Cypher's room, and while you guys are doing so, Eris and Varia, you all are watching the video and kind of skipping through some of the parts that, getting to the parts that you want to check out. So while you're doing so, what are you guys looking for? Are you just gonna watch the whole thing through, or are you gonna try to point some certain points out, or?
Well, I'm not gonna skip through it. If Varia is like trying to watch the whole thing, I'm not gonna be skipping through it.
I'm gonna watch the whole thing, but
yeah. So I'll just pause it at like the specific parts that I'm talking about. So the whipping part, and then the whole pillar sequence, and I'll point those specific instances out, and be like
circles on there.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like she could have not gotten dragged by that whip. Why do you think she didn't resist?
Because think about it. Sir Perior's her hero. She can't beat her hero. But I think this means we can't trust Sir Perior in a mech if it comes down to it.
Or we could trust Dawn in a mech. Maybe she's a savant. Maybe she has a hidden talent that we never knew about, or that you never knew about. I don't know anything about Dawn, really.
Is it more likely that someone who's never ridden in a mech before suddenly be amazing, or is it more likely that someone who retired from mech fighting a long time ago has lost a lot of the skill that got him there?
I don't really know. I mean, how much has she actually read up on mech fights and mech controls?
A lot. She's read it a lot.
It's possible that it's possible she's a prodigy. I don't know. I don't...
Could you guys roll like a perception check, on kind of the whole sequence with the pillars and stuff?
Dirty 20.
All right.
Roll a perspective check, because it's always good to have perspective.
Yeah.
Very important.
You want to know the real truth? Got to know perspective.
Yeah.
15.
All right. So between the two of you, Varia, you might notice this a little bit more, but you do notice Eris as well. that whenever the pillar sequence part was going on, there didn't seem to be any holding back. If anything, you could literally see the parts on the arms where there was being too much pressure applied, and it was busting caps. Like some of the way the parts of the mech were actually getting busted off from the amount of force being pushed and stuff.
Eris, I think she might have tried to throw the fight in the middle, but at the end, she was fighting. I don't think that she was throwing anything at that point.
Other than the pillar.
So, all right. Because I tried to talk to her about halfway through the match. She said she couldn't do it, but maybe she started really trying towards the end. We should still think about it, though. If it ever comes down to it, we got decisions to make.
I mean, there's always decisions to make, and trusting anyone in anything is always questionable.
Yeah, so that you guys get to do that, and you guys show up to Cypher's room. With that, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to take our break. So there are just a lot of decisions to make. We got literally every decision I can think of gonna happen after this break. So if you guys are watching, you should definitely come back after this break and check it out, because they have to decide where they're going, if they're going, how they're gonna handle it. I think yeah,
we're never leaving.
Yeah,
we're just gonna do simulation after simulation.
The rest of the show is gonna be here. That's just
the Garden of Eden : mech fights.
Yeah. So they're gonna head back out into the city after a little bit. I know they're gonna have a little interaction with Cypher here in a second to try to get some nice booze. But after that, the group's gonna have to decide what they're doing. So yes, stick around after this break. Come back, check out the rest of this episode. And if you're just now getting in, we'll be right back. We're going to have a 10-minute break, and afterwards, more awesome Eden and love stories between family members and weird stuff like that. So, come back. Welcome back. Eris will be joining us just shortly here. He's grabbing something. And whenever we start back, or before we start back, excuse me, I'd like to do some small shout-outs to...
Is the stream going, or is my internet crappy?
Your internet's crappy.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Sorry.
It's important. If the stream's not going right now and you're trying to shout people out, it'd be sad.
I'm sorry, sorry to have to ask this, but what was the guy who did the art's name again? I don't have it written down in front of me.
Logan Arts.
Logan Arts, there you go. I'm really bad with names if anyone doesn't know. Logan Arts, thanks and shout out to him. You can find him on Fiverr, and check his other art out if you're interested in art for that kind of stuff. Really great work he did for us, as you can see below. And Eris is back, so... other than that, I do want to throw out a small shout out to Harry for doing our maps. He did the lovely arena. And other than that, to Paddleford, who does all our music. He has had he is in the works of some brand new music. There will be plenty more where that comes from as the show progresses. So thanks to everybody who helped and involved, and of course thanks to LSRPG for having a community where we can do this and for hosting our show. So with that, we're gonna get back. So Sir Perior, Scrat, and Chip are currently going to going to Cypher's room to get some alcohol. So we come to them as they approach the room where he stays with Chip.
I'm gonna approach stealthily.
All right, roll a stealth check. Everybody, technically. So you guys see Chip.
Why are we sneaking?
Yeah.
I got a 7.
Following his lead.
I got a 7.
No, 17.
Chip is like trying to sneak, and you just like bump your arm on the wall or something like that as you walk through a doorway. And you look around, and You don't see Cypher around anywhere in the room.
Well, it's a good thing he's not here, because I'm not being very sneaky.
Yeah, well, just try not to hit anything when you're grabbing the booze. Don't drop it, whatever you do.
Oh, you probably shouldn't have said that. You jinxed it. It should be over here. I think he keeps it under his bed.
Well, why don't you go ahead, Chip? He's your brother, after all.
Okay, sure. So I'll go over there. I attempt to search for it.
Yeah, you try to look under his bed, and he doesn't have too much other stuff besides his alcohol and some writings and stuff like that underneath his bed. Some like coiled up, different parchments and stuff.
Being all nervous about dropping it, I'm going to hold out my arm, and you're going to see like there's purple tattoos are going to start glowing, and then my hand starts glowing, and then the purple hand just kind of separates from my hand and goes towards and picks up a bottle, and I'm going to float it over to Scrat.
Okay, yeah, you grab it, and you're just floating it along the ground, and just very carefully, and it gets over to Scrat, and Scrat, it's right in front of you.
All right, boys, we got the goods. Scram!
Let's get the hell out of here.
I'm gonna grab another bottle.
All right, so Scrat, I assume you take the one that he hands you, and then he's going to go for the second one as you guys start to make your way out, and you grab the other bottle and are able to kind of pull it out carefully.
And I'm going to attempt to go float it over to Sir Perior, and then realize that they have vacated the premises.
All right. So you guys leaving the room, don't really see anybody in the hallway either. And as you kind of return the bottle back to yourself and grab it, are you guys putting the bottle anywhere specific or carrying it?
I'm going to, like, for me, when my hand's sitting out there, I'm gonna walk up to it and then put my hand through it and grab it, and then the hand will dissipate, and then I'm going to store it under my cloak, just kind of stand like this.
Okay. Well, you guys.
Okay, Perry, I can stash this in my first aid kit here.
Yeah, that's first aid right there. Who's will clean out anything?
So you guys, where are you guys heading to? I assume, maybe. I can assume a couple places, but I don't want to push you in a direction.
That's a good question, Chip. Wait, Scrat. Where did Chip go?
Randy, is he still back there?
A couple seconds later, they'll see me come into the hallway. I kind of like look around for him.
Come on, Chip, over here. Catch up, buddy.
Oh, okay. I kind of scoot over there.
You want to take this someplace private, or do you think we should just sit in the main room? Those chairs are pretty nice in that conference room, I'm not going to lie.
It might be a little risky, but that's up to you. I'm going to hand
What's
the
the
other
worst
one
he's gonna do?
I'm going to hand the other one to Superior.
Just take it from you, and I'm not going to be too concerned about hiding it. I'm going to kind of tuck it by my side and just walk towards the conference room.
All right, so you guys get out into the conference room, and about this time, Eris and Varia kind of get done watching their video and kind of speculating what they were talking about, and head out. And you guys enter the conference room, seeing Perior, Scrat, and Chip laid out on some of the couches. Scrat and Perior clearly a little intoxicated as they are pouring more drinks.
Before leaving the kitchen, I would have tried to raid the fridge to actually find food for Fluffy, so that the excuse seems legit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you find some food in there, some couple different meats that Fluffy would be able to eat.
I just grab as much as I can, and as soon as we get to the conference room, I'll just walk over to Fluffy and just start kind of feeding it to her and be like, "This is a good spider. It's a real good spider. Yeah, here's some food for you."
Eris?
Yes.
What's with the spider, by the way? I know we really haven't had a chance to kind of talk about it. We've been on the run and everything. What?
Do you have a problem with the spider? And Eris stops feeding Fluffy and kind of turns around and looks at you.
No, Fluffy is the cutest spider I've ever seen in my life. I just was wondering why you sleep on the spider and why you're with the spider.
Eris smiles when you say it's the cutest thing, and he kind of pats Fluffy on the head, and he's like, "She is, isn't she? She's been my best friend since I was really little. I found her one day. She kind of like climbed in my backpack, and I carried her home, and she's kind of stuck with me ever since."
You're telling me that spider was small enough to be inside of your backpack at one point?
Yep.
Okay. All right. You learn something new every day. Let's go.
Did you hear that, Fluffy? She said you were cute. Yeah.
I'm cute. She said I'm cute.
As we're sitting around the table, I'm going to pour a drink. One for me. One for you. And one for Chip, because you got nothing else to do.
I don't know about this.
Come on, Chip. If we're going to be buddies, you might as well have a drink with us every now and again.
Okay. What do they say? Beers?
Sure. Good enough, Chip. Beers it is.
Beers to friends.
Yeah, beers to friends, indeed.
And as you guys,
I'm assuming Varia and Eris are walking up at this point.
yeah, you walk up
Okay.
as they kind of are doing this.
Okay. Guess it's gonna be one of those nights.
What do you mean one of those nights, anyway?
My eyes are watering.
Don't worry, that's normal, boy. That's normal.
You'll get used to it.
Uh-huh.
You want any of this? Or are you just gonna stand there and judge?
Things tend to get messy when I get drunk. I don't think that it's a good idea, so...
Just go
it's a waste
for
of
it,
good
Varia.
booze anyway.
I'm not drinking until Dawn gets back, but that means you just have to drink for two.
Yeah, you make a good point.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Varia. Everybody, Varia.
It's fine. If she don't want it anyway, I'll keep it. I'll keep it for myself. She don't need good booze like this. Waste on people like that.
Is it all this strong, or is it just the good stuff?
That's the good stuff or the bad stuff, depending on where you get it.
And after this, you guys get kind of talking for just this amount of time. You see Bluprint pop his head out from his office, and he kind of looks around at you guys. He sees Chip with a drink in his hand, and he kind of just shakes his head, and he puts his head back in.
Now, we supposed to be figuring out where we're going or something. We gotta get some work for that guy so he stops looking over our shoulders every 2 seconds.
That's right, yeah. Where does everyone want to go?
Well, I don't know about you, but some more mech fighting ought to be pretty good.
That was with the rectum?
Wrecked him, heck, it damn near killed him, Chip.
Who?
That's not important.
It was
Oh.
the Wreckers, Chip. It was
Wreckers.
The Wreckers.
Ah, that makes more sense.
I'm just throwing this out there. Dawn's going to be a little while with her upgrade. She would hate it if we went to a casino. So I think we should just knock that one out of the way, while she's getting fixed up.
Isn't that kind of far from the Wreckers?
Well, it's about the same distance from here, isn't it?
I don't know.
Where is here? Are we still in the same district?
Where is here?
You guys are in the mall, like the far outreaches of the mall. Technically, for those of you who are sober enough or remember, you would recall that the Hourglass District is actually about a 4.5-day trip from here, and the Enclave is roughly a 5.5.
I remember.
Or it might be a little. It's a little further out. It might be like a 2-day difference between them. In terms of going to the Enclave would be 2 days extra compared to the Hourglass area.
Well, I want to fight mechs, so that's my vote.
Hey, that's right. You tell him, Chip. You tell him. But I think a little bit of gambling could be a good time. What you think, Scrat?
If I know one thing, it's that where there's gambling, there's booze. But I also wouldn't mind watching you in another one of the mechs.
Hey, Scrat, would your mech have a Hawaiian shirt on like yours?
I
That'd be pretty
something to
cool.
see. Yeah, and then when they all combined, you could be the middle. So the whole thing's wearing a big shit. But there's
let's get some mechs.
You've done some of that
Whoa!
gambling stuff. You ever been down there with that Lady Luck or any of them folks?
Zeus?
I'll let you decide if you've ever been around the underground gambling, but
How far is it from where Dawn lives?
it's like 6 days.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't have been there.
But
Yeah, I've heard of her. It's supposed to be a pretty big gambling place. I've never been though. Dawn says it's too far.
Well, if it's gonna bother her that much, maybe you're right. Maybe we should go when she's indisposed. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, she hates casinos.
You don't actually want to gamble while we're there, do you?
No, what?
Of course I do.
Of course.
You
Well, okay, maybe a little.
Okay. I don't know Lady Luck myself. I have friends who do, and
Is she hot?
See,
I-
Scrat
I-
knows the right questions to ask.
I just told you that I don't know her myself and that I have friends who know her, so that question is a little strange to me. But I can tell you on good authority that Lady Luck rigs all of her games. She's one of the worst liars in the entire Hourglass district. I can get us an audience. I can probably get us some work.
So what you're saying is that you have an in with a sure thing.
I mean, maybe.
We should
There's
definitely
an-
go.
think we
Okay,
should.
so there's about a 50-50 chance that when Lady Luck sees Tess, she'll welcome her with open arms, or she may try to welcome her with open knives. So there's a possibility of it being a sure thing, but there's also a possibility that we get looped in with something bad.
Yeah, you sure do like to say that you got folks and things stacked up in the back waiting all the time. And, I don't know about the rest of you. I'm starting to get the idea that maybe all these contacts of yours ain't nothing but smoke and mirrors.
Chip didn't hear
no.
any of this. He's still contemplating the concept of an open knife.
It's the switchblade, damn it, Chip.
Huh?
But anyhow,
Okay,
I
so-
don't mind the gambling. We could go there, I guess.
I assure you, Tess is real.
Mm. Mm.
And
Just like that voice in your head, huh? Mm.
yeah, kind of just like that voice in my head.
Mm.
I will do whatever you guys want to do.
Well,
Sounds
Scrap.
like yes to me.
Max.
That's right. You boys ever been out to the casino? I bet you haven't, Chip.
What?
Well, you ever been to casino? I'm thinking you lived in this place too long to be going out to anything like that.
I've never been to a casino.
Well, don't worry. We'll take care of you. Ain't that right, Scrap? We steer him, right?
We got you.
I'm going to put my hand on Chip's back. We go to the casino. You are not gambling at all.
Okay. Why not?
Varia, he's a grown lad. He can make his own decisions. If he chooses to let a proxy do his gambling for him, it's completely up to him.
Okay. Varia's going to go off into a corner and set her easel up and start painting.
Don't worry about it, Chip. You and me, we're gonna crush it
With the mechs?
eventually. But I'm talking about gambling, Chip.
Oh. That thing. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, don't worry. It's a lot more fun than it sounds, anyway.
More fun than mechs?
No,
Oh.
no, nothing better than that. That's a good one, Chip. That's a good one.
All right, boys. I'm gonna head off the bed now. Good night.
Nice.
Varia's going to wave at Scrat as he walks by.
There goes the life of the party. Shit.
Varia from behind her easel. At least you recognize that you are not the life of the party.
I ain't trying to impress you anyway. You can keep those thoughts for yourself.
Not trying to be impressed by you, Perry.
It's a good thing I wasn't trying. You know what? I'm gonna get the hell out of here myself. And I'll start stumbling off towards the door.
Varia's gonna walk out from behind her easel and go over to see if there's any booze left in the bottle.
I think there's a 9 out of 10 chance
It's
I
gone.
would have left a
That-
half swallow.
that he would have brought the bottle with him, but I rolled a 17, so I'll leave that one up to you. Did you leave the bottle or not, Sir Perior?
I might have left about a half swallow there. It didn't taste as good once, all those words started flying around.
Alright. Yeah, so you found a little old swig left, and I'm sure Chip didn't finish his drink. So
I'm gonna. Yep. He did not. I'm gonna take the last swallow in the bottle and then take Chip's drink and go back over to my easel. Sorry. Chip. Were you gonna finish this? Because didn't seem like you were. You were kind of nodding off there. I thought you were sleeping. I'm sorry. Here. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Here. And I bring the drink back to him.
No, you can have it. I'm starting to feel a little funny.
Yeah, you were passed out there for a second, buddy. You should probably go to the beds.
Which ones?
I don't care. Just don't sleep on the floor. You'll wake up and be in a whole hell of a lot of pain.
Who's LaFleur?
I'm gonna pat him on the back. It's okay, buddy. Just go to sleep. Wherever you want, however you want, just go to sleep.
Okay. Now I'm gonna put my head on her shoulder.
Oh, not what I meant, Chip. And I'm gonna like grab him like under his arms and drag him over to a chair and like set him down.
You hear Eris in the corner. Be careful, Cypher's gonna get jealous.
It's just I shoot the dirtiest look over to Eris. And then
He
after
just like looks away and like makes a face like he didn't say anything. Like,
Yep. And Varia's gonna go back to her easel and in like maybe 2 chugs, drink the rest of that drink all the way down. And it's gone.
Okay.
And then she's just going to start like painting in a flurry.
All right. So you guys spend your nights, and I imagine Sir Perior and Scrat are just having some, either just sleeping or having some random conversations in the bedroom. Chip, I don't even know if you dream, and Eris, I don't know if you would. It's up to you if you want to head back to the rooms or if you want to.
Fluffy's already in the conference room, so I would just kind of go and curl up with Fluffy.
Cool.
I really think we should RP this pillow talk that's going on.
All right. And then Varia's spending the rest of her night painting. So Superior and Scrat, is there anything in specific? Do you guys even talk whenever you lay down to go to bed? I imagine not.
We're 2 men alone in the bedroom, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Scrat, I'm not talking to you.
Same here, buddy. I wouldn't want Don to get you.
Hey, don't make Dawn jealous. She might attack you, pal.
And then, so you guys wake up the next, or after sleeping. I guess you guys wouldn't really know what time it is exactly. You wake up whenever you wake up, and after what or not, or what have you, you realize Panda comes kind of stumbling past Eris as you wake up, and she seems kind of a little tired, but not. She's not like about to fall asleep. She's just a little exhausted.
Dawn, you all right? How'd it go?
She says that it went pretty well, and she was just really tired afterward, and she still kind of is. But she's already been out for so long that she needs to kind of get up and stretch.
Oh, okay. Did you already get breakfast? I think we're about to head to get breakfast in a minute.
She says no, and I guess chills with you until you head that way. Just, I guess, petting Fluffy until you get up and stuff. So Superior and Scrat, you guys wake up eventually and to the smell of food being cooked. And Chip, you maybe want to make a con save to see if you're in hell pain from. How bad is that hangover?
That's gonna be 7.
Yeah, we'll see. You have a decent headache in the morning. Nothing crazy, but decent. And Varia, did you leave your painting out, or when you went to bed? Oh, you're muted.
I'm still working on it. I'm almost done.
Oh.
I've been painting all night, and there's like you can see crumpled up like kind of sketches of what I've been painting.
Okay. I think as as Eris and Panda eventually start heading towards breakfast, they're going to kind of be able to peek over at your pedestal. What do they notice?
They are going to see 9 vibrantly colored butterfly outlines. So she had painted Vector by Warhol. So it's just 9 bright butterflies on super bright backgrounds.
Okay. And she's gonna invite you to come eat breakfast, I guess.
I'm gonna pack up my paints and sure, Don, I'll come.
Eris just stops in front of the painting and he's like, "That is beautiful. Varia, you're really good."
Thanks, Eris. And before she finishes packing up her painting, on the back side of the canvas, she's going to draw a triangle and then a symbol of an eye, and basically the symbol that you see in her character art on the back.
What was that? What was that? What did you just draw?
That's a signature of sorts.
You know, it's just shapes, right? Normally signatures have like letters in them.
Normally, yes. But
All right.
wouldn't be right for me to sign my own name to this painting now, would it?
Why is that?
Because I didn't make it originally.
I'd like
who
to
made
think
it?
that at this time, I would have been walking down the hall. Hear that? So you are an art thief, then?
I am not a thief.
Well, it's not your work. And you
It
just
is
painted
my
it.
work. I made that. I did that.
Then
The
why
images
can't you
may not
sign
have
it?
come from my brain, but I made that. I did not steal the painting you see in front of you. That painting is as real or more real than the images that it's based off of. The
Looks
original
like
of
a
that
reproduction
painting.
of me.
You really? Have you seen this painting ever before?
No, not really, but you won't sign it. And
I
you
did
say
sign it.
it's not your own work, so well, it's breakfast anyway.
Guys, it's too early for this. Can we just eat our breakfast and go?
Yeah, can you keep it down? I think my head's malfunctioning.
Don't worry, Chip. I remember my first drink too.
His head is malfunctioning? Do you mean you have a headache?
Sure.
He just didn't drink enough water, that's all.
Oh, yeah, I didn't drink any water.
You
one
might
told
want to
me.
do that at breakfast.
Okay.
So you guys all stumble into the dining room, and there is once again some breakfast, a little different this time, some different meats and stuff. So instead of bacon, there's some sausage or what have you, some breads and toast and stuff, as well as maybe some grits or something like of that nature. And as you all sit down to eat, basically, Bluprint comes up and kind of grabs his food and nods to everybody. Kind of, walks up to Panda and starts, checking a couple things on her back and stuff, and on her like her external augments, and kind of just making sure they're all working. Sorry, Dawn. Thank you for that. Yeah, so he starts checking out Dawn's stuff, and then he kind of nods after checking it out for a second and starts to walk off back towards his office with his food.
Man, it's a good thing he's gonna go eat in his office. Be a shame if he stunk up the room we were eating in.
It doesn't smell.
Maybe not to you, Chip. Maybe not to you.
My sense of smell's pretty good. I think I would know.
Yep. He's not being literal.
Oh.
Look, did we ever get hammered down what we're gonna do? Are we going and gambling, and are we going in and fighting some mechs?
I think I got hammered.
That's right, Chip. That's right.
I think Panda's gonna kind of like look around like anxiously, like waiting an answer. Or I'm sorry, Dawn. I'm sorry. I'll start looking at the actual. Dawn is going to look around and just wait for someone to kind of say what the answer is.
Pock or Scrat, can I talk to Pock? Is that possible?
Yeah, go ahead. She's right here.
Pock, do you have a list of things that they may have found inside of my art studio? And could you just let me look at it for a second?
She says, yeah, she can check what she can find, and she's gonna look up some stuff for a little bit. And she says that she'll kind of like, it'll take her a while to sift through all the stuff since you guys have been kind of gone for a little bit. So just she'll let you know when she finds out.
So we could go and see Lady Luck. I'm hoping Pock might help us make this decision. There is a very big possibility, if things were found inside of my studio, that Lady Luck won't want to see Tess. So I'm not a thief. Tess is. That's why she has all of these underground connections. And she stole something for Lady Luck. It might not have actually gotten to her.
Well, I'll be honest with you. It sounds like that's more risk than it's worth for me. I'd rather go in there with no indication to Lady Luck.
I don't think
That
it's
way
worth
I
the
don't
gamble.
have stains on me from thieves.
We could try to throw Tess under the bus.
Yeah, she's your friend.
What's a bus?
It's a turn of phrase, Chip. How long did you live your entire life in this bunker?
Yeah.
Do they not interact with the surface at all? Like, do you not know any of the turn of phrases from the past?
Not that one.
Oh,
Don't
gosh.
press him so hard anyway. Leave him alone. He's doing his best.
Better than a lot of people can say.
Oh, you're one to talk. At least I put in the effort. I don't make replicas of other people's works.
I make my own works.
That's not important. Are we going gambling or are we going mech fighting? If you people can't figure that out, I'll just start heading out to the mech arenas myself. I don't want to owe this man any more than I have to.
I'm gonna call for Pock and ask Pock if the name of the specific painting that I'd stolen was found, or that Tess had stolen was found.
So Pac is kind of asking for specifics, and after you give her a name of something, she kind of searches through what she's found, and she says, there doesn't seem to be record of that painting in specific.
Oh, so if they didn't find that one, then they didn't find the stash. Okay. We could go see Lady Luck. I can have Tess get us in.
What
Okay.
was the stash you mentioned?
A stash of truth?
Is that like a mustache that lets you tell when people are telling the truth?
No. No, Chip. It's not.
Okay. Well, I'll still go with you. It's fine. Just thought
I
that'd be
don't-
pretty cool.
I don't know if we should get that test person involved. You're saying that we could either get killed over that or welcomed with open arms. Frankly, I don't like the odds on that. But then again, I'm not the usual gambler, Eris. Maybe you got something to say about 50-50 odds.
Eris has just been stuffing his face the entire conversation, and he looks up at you when you say his name, and he's got like a mouthful of bacon, and he's just like, "I'm with Varia," and then he goes back to like stuffing his face again.
I'm gonna walk over and take a piece of bacon from Eris's plate. Take a bite.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go see Lady Luck, and then after that, we can go to see the wreckers.
Well, if that's what you think it ought to be, that's 3 at least. What do you think, Scrat?
Yeah, let's go see this lady Luck here.
I still don't think we should get that other lady involved, but Lady Luck it is, I guess.
I'm sure you guys won't even see Tess. I'll deal with her. You won't have to worry.
It's not so much Tess I'm worried about. Makes it sound like we could get stabbed again, but you know, what do I know?
Life is danger. Sometimes people get stabbed.
Yes, for being thieves and cheats.
Well, I'm full.
If
You guys
you're
ready
about
to go?
done eating, I think you're right, Chip. Why don't we head out?
You guys, we still look like ourselves. What I'm saying is maybe we should wear like different clothes or some kind of disguise. They're still looking for us, right?
Yep.
Well, it certainly couldn't hurt.
I mean,
Chip, you know if Bluprint has any kind of like long robes, or can you guys think of any way we can just blend in?
yeah. I mean, I have to get my shield back anyway, so well, let's go ask him real quick.
All right.
All right, so you guys all head over to see, and whenever you get to the armory, Chip, which you had been instructed to meet him at whenever you guys were going to leave, you see him kind of making some like fine tunings on it and stuff. And as you walk in, he just kind of nods at you and kind of starts polishing up the shield and the augment and blowing on it, kind of getting some of the dust away.
How's it coming along, Father?
It's coming. Are you all about to leave? Is that what's going on?
Yep, we're gonna go see Lady Luck.
All right. Well, I did some fine tuning on this, and I think it'll be a little better this time. He hands it to you.
Cool. And I attach it to my arm.
All right. And whenever you kind of put it in, it kind of like pops up for a second, and you can see it's like a little thicker, and the coils that kind of run, or like the lines that run through it, the hexes, seem to have like some kind of like folding on each side to make it like where the little creases are like really thick in comparison to the rest of the shield now.
Nice. I'll have to ask you how you did this later.
It'd take too long. Don't worry about that. Now, I think I have everything done that I needed to get done. I think I need some sleep about now, but what is it you all need?
Well, we were wondering if there's. I mean, obviously, I don't have to worry about it, but they were wondering if we had any like disguises they could use.
Yes. Traveling the city looking like yourselves might not be the best option, so... Let's see. Yeah, starts rummaging through some of the equipment, like, areas inside the room, and whenever he, kind of gets, after a minute or so looking through some stuff, he's like, oh, yes, this might work just the charm. Turns around and he holds his hand out and he has a little box and he says, I have with me currently only, and he opens the box up and he says, well, I thought I had 20, but it looks like I have 12. I have 12 little magic devices here. These are all Magitech. Each one will last one person roughly 4 to 6 hours of cloaking in terms of it'll basically disguise self, but gives you a disguise that can be noticed under certain circumstances, but for the most part works really well.
Well, thank you, Father. I'll take it and kind of pass them out to everyone.
Okay. He says, well, I think that should do it if you travel by, if you travel by night for the most part and kind of break up the daylight hours with using these, I think you should be able to get where you need to go.
Varia's gonna take hers and give them to Dawn. I know how to disguise myself too, so here, you can have these. And then she's going to go to Bluprint. That rapier that Cypher let me have.
Yes. What of it?
You said yesterday it was special.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just because it's made by your hand that makes it special?
Well, I don't call this place special, do I?
I think you have a couple times, actually.
All right, well, what I can tell you is that rapier was originally designed with the concept of being able to synergize with your magic inside your race augment. It allows you to do some kind of, fire or shock or poison and apply the said status to the rapier.
You said that it interfaces with the race augment?
It doesn't exactly interface as much as it draws power from.
Okay.
That sounds pretty neat, Varia.
Yeah.
Hopefully you won't have to use it, but I have a feeling you might.
Okay. And she, puts it back into the scabbard at her waist and kind of, introspectively moves to the corner of the room.
Bluprint kind of turns and he says, well, I think I have, helped you guys enough, so I think it's time you all go out and, return the favor. But before you do, it really pains me to, have to see, some kind of possibility of you all getting hurt out there while being basically my lifeline. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you all a little bit
Cypher?
Wait, what?
You're gonna give us Cypher?
No, I couldn't possibly let him go since Chip is already leaving. But I will go ahead and give you a couple little bit of materials and rations for your time away. can't have you going into public just to get food and possibly getting caught just for a meal. And he'll hand out some rations, and along with that, I can't remember. Did you guys receive health potions from him one time? No? Okay, well, he's also going to give you guys each a normal health potion. And they look like little like needle vials, like almost like little medicinal kind of like syringes that you stab into your augments.
Heavy potions.
Yep. And after that, he's gonna kind of wish you all well and say he's gonna go get some rest because he has been basically not sleeping for the last 2 days to get all that stuff done for you guys.
Varia's gonna pull Chip aside and give him the painting. Chip, would you go put this in Cypher's room?
Okay, sure. I'll go into Cypher's room and put it where I found the booze.
Well, yeah, nice. So yeah, you put it down
Varia.
and you head out, and you come back, and after you guys are all waiting for him to come back, and you see him come back with a smile on his face.
I'm gonna send a message to Sir Perior and say, "Hey, I put the painting where we took the booze. So now Cypher's gonna think Varia did it."
Good job, Chip.
Thanks.
And Varia, you just notice them going like this. I'm just kidding. It's just when you do it, I'm just like imagining. So you guys all are now prepared to leave, and kind of Bluprint nods to you all as he kind of opens the door and kind of waves goodbye. And
Glad to be out of this facility, that's for sure.
I can agree with you on that one, Sir Perry.
You don't even understand how much I agree with you.
Yeah, I bet it's nice to be a little bit less caged, huh, Chip?
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting out of here for a long time. That's why I didn't want to come back, because I didn't want to get stuck here. You know, I didn't think you would let me leave.
I can understand that, I suppose, Chip. So I got a question for you. Now that you got all this freedom, what are you going to do with it? It's the first thing you want to do.
Not drink more, that's for sure.
Give it time. Give it time.
How about a little gambling?
I like math.
I got the perfect game for you, buddy.
Okay. I have a pretty good memory, too.
You ever heard of 21?
The number?
Yeah, that's right. Sure. Card game, buddy. You'll see at the casino.
Okay.
all right, so you guys all heading out? Anybody
Yep.
do anything last moment stuff? All right, cool. So you guys all head out into the alleyway, and the wall shut. Like it opens up after a little bit of time, and then you guys step out, and there's no one around, and it shuts back relatively quickly. And I assume we're all heading towards the Hourglass District.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so at the current time, it is getting a little bit late into the evening. It's still daylight outside, but it's kind of getting darker. It's probably around like 8 o'clock ish, where it's just starting to get dark. So you start heading in the direction of the Hourglass District, and taking some back roads, kind of trying to blend in where you can. And in about 45 minutes or an hour, it does turn dark enough to where you should be fine for the most part. So you just kind of make your way towards the district as well as you can. And I'll say the first day of travel is pretty easy. There does you guys are just jibber jabbering back and forth, kind of just being cautious. But the second day, you guys start to get a little tired, and you know that there's roughly about 2 more days after this travel. So, with that being said, you're starting to feel like you might be getting exhausted soon. You're not exhausted, but you know that it's kind of getting close to where you might be in the next couple hours. So you either need to, decide on what you guys want to do and how you want to handle that. So what are you guys thinking?
Well, Scrat, when's the last time you've been around the hourglass? I don't know any good hotels out here.
Oh, it's been a while. I don't really leave the Bergs very much.
Well, shit. Well, what about the rest
any
of you?
place there's?
So, just to let you guys know, sorry. Right now, you guys are in the west side of or east side of the strip. You're not in the hourglass yet. Just let you know. But continue, Eris. I'm sorry.
Mars near.
Oh. I don't have the map pulled up.
You're good. So you're like you're like
yeah,
halfway.
Can you tell me what I know about this place?
Personally, you wouldn't have. This is on the opposite side of where you normally do your routes, but you have learned about like general routes.
So we're on the east side.
Yeah, you're on like the northeast side. You're like heading to the northeast. So you personally would know that this district isn't necessarily known for a lot of stuff. It's more known for its kind of like weird design, because like the west and east strip kind of are known as like the longest. It's the widest district. It's a district that goes all the way across the city, and that's why it's nicknamed West and East Strip, because of said. Because of that. And when you are on the west side, they say that the west side is the complete opposite of the east side. It's kind of like yin and yang. While the west side, you know pretty well because you've been there a couple of times, the west side is generally more of like a very welcoming people. The east side is more like imagine like southern hospitality on the west side, and on the east side it's like we're talking about like city Chicago, like watch where you're going, and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't really know this area very well.
Well,
You can always find hospitality in brothels.
Somehow I'm not surprised you know that. Scrat, maybe Pock can give us some kind of rundown on local places for us.
No, we shouldn't go to a brothel. That's a terrible idea.
You're right. We should definitely not go to the brothel.
Eris is just saying this for Dawn's benefit.
Yeah.
Boys.
You guys all know, but Dawn is clueless.
Boys.
She's probably like agreeing with him. Like, yeah, brothel's a bad idea.
Boys, we're not going to a brothel for what you think we're going to a brothel for. We're going to a brothel to sleep.
Exactly.
Yes.
We're just going to sleep.
Dawn's going to say...
Try not to have any night terrors.
Dawn's going to ask if that's what brothels are for. Sleeping.
Yes, Dawn. People sleep at brothels all the time.
She says that's very nice, and it's weird. She's going to have to go to one next time she gets tired, if this ever ends.
Maybe don't go without me. Don't go by yourself to a brothel.
She asked, why would you need a place to sleep if you're tired if you're always hanging out with her? Or excuse me, is it because your night terrors might get too bad? Or
if we go to a brothel, I'm sure that I'll have terrible, terrible night terrors.
Well, then why would you want to go?
Oh, everybody else has to sleep. I don't want to be selfish.
She's very
As
confused.
always, a selfless pillar of humanity.
It's okay. It's okay, Eris. I'll watch over you so you don't have night terrors.
Oh no, it's fine. I got Fluffy. Fluffy will watch over me.
Oh.
Wait,
Fluffy's
do you know
into
what
that?
a brothel
We gotta
is,
see
Chip?
if we gotta see if we can give you some night terrors of your own, Chip.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Why
Well,
would I
think
want
about
night
it. How
terrors?
Go ahead.
What's that, Chip?
Why would I want night terrors?
Well, let's just say you haven't been out very often, Chip. New experiences are always a good thing to have. Trust
Chip,
me,
if-
you'll have a good time.
Chip, if we find a brothel, you are going to not be having any night terrors. I'll make sure of it.
Oh,
The boy can do what he
that
wants.
sounds about right.
He already has his father looming over him the whole time. Might as well let him make his own choices now.
I'm sorry, Bova broke me.
So you guys are waiting and having this discussion, and Pock kind of tells Scrat. She says that the nearest brothel is, maybe a couple hours away, but it's nothing like it doesn't necessarily have great reviews or anything like that.
Nearest
don't-
brothel's a couple hours away, but
What, Scrat?
it's a 2-star.
We don't care about the stars.
We
Okay,
care a
no.
little about the stars.
We don't care
What's
about the
up?
stars because this is what's going to happen, and this is how you get your way through the world. We'll go to the brothel.
God, please,
We're going
tell
to
us your
pay
beautiful view of the
each
world.
of these women, and then we are going to sleep, and we are going to let the women sleep as well.
Well,
So we're gonna sleep
personally,
with
you
the
don't
women?
tell me what to do, so. But secondly, any port in a storm, ain't that right, Scrat? You got the penicillin, right?
Yeah. Yeah, plenty.
Maybe the brothel's a bad idea. Let's just keep walking.
You can keep walking. I'm making a beeline for that brothel.
So so Pock has her doubts as well. She says to Scrat, but she points Scrat in the right direction of the brothel if that is what you guys choose. Is that where we're going? All right.
It doesn't
That's where I would
care.
take it.
Right down this way.
All right. So you all head towards this brothel. You kind of show up whenever it's kind of getting near morning. It's like I don't know, like 4:30 and 5 in the morning. And getting to this point, the brothel seems to be not closed, but it's not like advertising itself like you'd imagine it normally would be late at night.
Yeah, that seems about right for an establishment like this. I want to go up and knock on the front.
Varia
I'm
like
sorry.
puts her hand out as like she's about to like stop him, but she sees him just walking up to knock, and she's like, "Well, all right, guess that's happening."
I better go make sure he's all right. I'll be right back, Don.
All right, so Sir Perior, you knock on this door. You're currently not wearing a disguise, and you knock on this door, and a lady opens the door and kind of peers through, and she peers around, and she sees you, and you see her eye go like really wide, and then she quickly tries to slam the door shut.
I want to try to stick my foot in the door, and as I'm doing that, I want to say, wait. We'll pay. Good money.
Go ahead and make a sleight of foot check.
Well, apparently I'm not very fleet of foot. That's maybe a 6.
All right, you stub your toe into the door as she slams it into it.
Oh, shit. Ouch.
Eris, at this point, you're up right beside him.
Hell, I knew I was ugly, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe you should step back, Sir Perior. They didn't like something about your face.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. All right. Eris knocks on the door.
You hear a faint whimper from behind the door, and then you hear another voice kind of like approaching, saying, "Oh, now, what? Why are you crying?" And then you hear some whimpering, and then you hear a woman opens the door, like not cracked, but like up to like about face amount, and she stares at you and says, "Now, what did you do to make my girl cry?" She looks at you, and she looks past you and sees Sir Perior's half messed up face, looks back at you, and shakes her head.
Yeah, I get the same way every time I see his face too.
What do you all want?
We were hoping we could get some rooms and some service for a few hours.
I normally don't do group rates. She kind of like looks around and
It'd be several individual rates, I think.
Well, that's all right, but since it's no further notice or no pre-notice and so many of you, I think we might have to squeeze a couple of you into the same rooms.
While they were knocking on the doors, Varia took a couple steps back, and all of her augments flash pure white for a second, and she's disguised herself to look like a half elf, dark brown hair, and no real discernible outward augments. And she's gonna walk up. Excuse me, ma'am. I found these miscreants, and they, as you know, are in a little bit of trouble. So I'm hoping that we could get one, maybe 2 rooms. We just need to rest for the night. I'm trying to get them to a safe place.
Make a deception check real quick. I already rolled hers. I don't think this is gonna happen.
Yeah, well, it's possible. 24?
Yeah, she rolled a 1, so she is just she is just believing this. She's just like, well, I can't exactly say that I'm not going to be able to charge you normally, but if you pay 1 1/4 the price, I'll let you in.
Done.
She opens the door a little bit the rest of the way, and the girl who is crying that you saw first, Sir Perior, is like hiding behind her. And as you open the door, you notice that she's like hiding her face, and she looks up and sees your face again. And she is basically quivering and just starts pulling on her or on this woman's shirt on the back end, and the woman kind of pushes her around her into the corner and kind of shields her with the door slightly to kind of give her some privacy as you guys all file in.
And seeing the reaction to that, I'll activate the augment that slides over the front of the burnt face. Fine. I guess people still aren't used to it.
You do notice as you kind of walk in that this girl that you saw does seem to be almost a child, like a teenager.
None of my business.
Varia's gonna pull the woman aside. Does she work here?
She kind of just looks at you and shakes her head no without saying anything, before she says, it's a long story. I don't really think you want to get all into that right now. And she looks around at the group before she shuts the door and says, the money needs to be paid now, up front.
Varia will give her the money.
All right. She kind of like tells you as you start to like pull out your money that the price is going to be so it's normally a gold for 2 nights. So she says, break it even and give me 5 pieces of gold and I'll make it work.
He gives her 5 pieces of gold.
And she takes it and slides it in her pocket, and she kind of says, this way, and walks up the stairs. And, leads you all to a room in the top area that is full of dragons, apparently. I'm just joking. There's a...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know.
Damn it, Boba.
I didn't do anything.
You set scenes up. It's your fault.
So leads you all to a room, and the room that she opens up kind of has it's a little run down. It has 2 beds in it that are kind of pushed together to make a larger bed. And she says, well, 3 of you can stay here. I'm assuming that. And she looks over at Dawn and Eris and says, I'm assuming these 2 won't be needing a separate room. And she looks over.
It's not like that. Not like that at all.
Oh.
A separate room would be great. But not for both of us.
I can share a room with Dawn.
Yep, I like that idea.
The woman raises an eyebrow, and she says, and she kind of walks around the room and kind of like grabs some stuff and like starts fixing it up. And she peers out the window and she says, "Oh, Lord, is that one of yours?" And she looks around and says, "There's a giant spider outside."
Eris is gonna look outside and like exaggeratedly, but he's gonna like whistle at Fluffy to like climb up onto the roof. And while Fluffy's climbing up, Eris is like, where? I don't see anything. Like real exaggerated.
Roll a deception check.
Okay. Damn!
Hey.
Nat 20.
She kind of raises an eyebrow at you and says, maybe it's just... She looks back out the window and she doesn't see the spider anymore, and she says, maybe it's just one of those passing sewer insects that have been kind of around the area. I'm not exactly sure. And she kind of like shakes it off and walks back towards the hallway anyway, and she says, the others that need rooms, follow me.
Varia's going to follow.
Okay.
Eris has decided to stay in the room he's in currently.
Yeah, I don't mind this room either.
Okay. Scrat?
Yeah, Scrat's got to stay too.
Okay. So it's just Varia? Alright.
And
Okay.
Dawn, maybe?
Well, I imagine Dawn was going to stay in that room because it was already suggested, but I mean, if you would
I was gonna talk to Dawn about Clash. So you're welcome to stay.
Yeah, staying.
So at this point, she walks out and Varia steps out into the hallway and she looks back with like a quit. She goes, "Oh, well, that was a bit unexpected. we have a variety of girls that could meet your needs. We also have a couple men, but
I'm gonna give you an extra gold, and you are not going to send any women into that room. And
Oh.
you're going to offer to any of the people that work here, if they would like a room to sleep in and a painting of themselves, they can come over to my room.
Oh, I've heard of a lot of fetishes. I haven't heard of this one. And she takes the gold from you.
It's not a fetish. It's
Should they be wearing their clothes for the painting?
they're going to be able to keep the painting, so whatever they want to wear.
Oh, okay. And she looks very confused and turns around and after kind of opening a door for you and walks away. Basically she kind of leaves you guys alone. It's like I said, it's by this time it's probably like 6 in the morning, so the sun's starting to come up.
Weren't we supposed to be sleeping with girls?
Dawn says, "I'm a girl."
Oh,
Yeah, I
cool.
was about to say, Chip, Don's right here.
Well, no, they said that like in the brothel there's girls and then you sleep with them.
Eh,
Like Varia said
Trust
that
me,
we were
Chip.
just gonna sleep with them.
Yeah, we just meant they're gonna be in the same building. We'll worry about it later. Let's just go to sleep.
It's
exactly.
a weird way to say that, but okay.
Eris is gonna stick his head out the window and whistle for Fluffy to come in through the window.
Yeah, he or she is able to kind of fit. After you kind of like open up the whatever you would call them, the panes. She's able to kind of work her way in and kind of settle down. She's starting to like scutter around, and she's very happy to be inside.
I start taking blankets and like throwing them over her, and just telling like shh, like pretend to be a couch.
How comfortable is that, Eris?
Fluffy's very comfortable. You want to try?
Maybe later. I'm good for now.
All right. Suit yourself.
Say, Eris, I don't know how you call your spider and whatnot, but does it make silk?
I'm not sure. I haven't really tried. I mainly just kind of ride her around when I'm working. She kind of works with me, but
Eris, if you want to roll a kind of like a animal handling check with advantage because you've spent most of your life with a spider, that'd be
21.
So you do recall that there's been one time where you've seen the spider make web, that like kind of whenever she wanted to, but you've maybe like you said, you've never really tried to get her to, so but you have recalled maybe like one time that you remember.
Okay. I'm not telling Sir Perior this.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at this time, as you guys are discussing the spider silk, there's a really soft knock on the door.
Anybody gonna answer that?
I'll get it. I'm gonna cast Disguise Self and just basically like get rid of all of my armor and augments, so I just look like normal, like me but normal. And I'm gonna go up and open the door.
You see the small girl that was kind of with the other woman whenever you guys walked in, and she kind of peers in, and as you open the door, she kind of like looks at you and says, in a very shy way, she says, "Is this where the girl's gonna do the painting?"
You must mean Varia. No, I'm Chip. I don't paint. But you're welcome to come in and hang out if you want.
She like looks around and sees like all of the people in there, and then like at one point she notices Sir Perior's in there, and she's just like, no, thank you, and she kind of like just runs off down the hallway.
Bye. Okay, I'm gonna shut the door. Was that little girl? She was looking for the girl that was gonna paint. Guessing she meant Varia.
Yeah, that's probably a good guess.
I'm proud of myself for making a good guess.
As well you should be, Chip. As well you should be.
So at this point, Varia, you hear a knock on your door.
I'm still disguised, so I'm going to walk over and open the door up.
And you see the little girl from earlier, and she's going to, when she sees you, she's going to kind of look in. Do you have your like stuff already set up, or?
Yeah. Yep. The
okay.
easel's set up and the paints are out.
She like looks past you and sees the easel, and she kind of like puts her hands behind her back and kind of like is like, I heard you are doing paintings.
I am. Did you want one? So I hold my hand out to her and invite her to come in with me.
She comes in and sits down kind of on the one of the stools beside the bed. Like there's clearly a bed there for her to sit on, but she sits on the stool. And she just like kind of looks at you.
So, how do you want to be painted? She's gonna see her stammering, and she's gonna kind of like kneel down in front of her.
Roll a perception check for me.
22.
So as you kneel down beside her or in front of her, you notice that there's basically there's these lines that kind of go like from here down to like basically running down her clavicle, and they look as if they're kind of like some kind of augment that kind of like allows paneling of her body. You can just see like a couple lines like sprouting go different ways and going up to her jawline, and like looking underneath her jawline you can see it as well.
That augment is interesting. I don't know that I've seen one like that. What does it do?
And she like kind of like starts hiding it from you and says, don't really want to talk about it.
Okay. You don't work here, do you? You know you don't have to work here. You could learn how to paint. Do you want me to teach you?
I've worked here a long time. And she looks up at you, and the kind of like eyes that she gives you have like changed drastically, like from kind of like a shy one to like more of a to more of one of kind of like questioning of you, which is a little odd.
Varia's going to stand up and let the tattoo pathways on her body flare blue-white. And she's gonna look like herself again.
Okay.
I showed you something true about myself. Can you tell me something true about yourself?
And whenever you change, she's going to kind of like look very kind of flabbergasted, and and she's going to look at you and say, "Oh, I had my guess when I saw Sir Perior. I recognized him, and I thought that you might be with them because that's what they said in the group and the people who come here. But I've been I love your paintings." And as she says this, her panels all kind of like start coming off and like sliding around, and you actually see like her augments and her inner workings. Like she's like basically like 75% augments. Most of her augments are actually colored and painted on, and they look like they're all in an art style similar to yours.
Your augments are beautiful.
She says, yeah, it's, most people look at me for what I look like on the outside, but it's kind of annoying to have to hide what I really am.
Varia's just gonna smile and say, "Do you want me to paint you, or do you want to show me how you can paint?"
Honestly, I'm fine with just watching.
Varia's gonna go over to the easel. Well, then what would you like me to paint if you don't want me to paint you?
Could you paint a bird flying away from a cage?
I could do that.
And
she
while
gets
this
started painting.
While this is all happening, what's going on in the other room?
I wonder if that was one of the girls that we were supposed to sleep with.
In a place like this, Chip, it might be better not to.
Oh.
Just this place. 2 stars is... well, I guess you don't get at much, but 2 stars isn't good, buddy.
Okay, I'll take your word for it, Mr. Perior.
Besides, I think she's a little young for that anyway.
And at this point, you see a couple pieces of gold are slipped back underneath your door.
The hell?
Okay.
Scrat, you ever seen a brothel pay you back?
Can't say I have. Then I'm gonna open the door and try to see if I can. Who was that?
Make a. I guess make like a. I assume you're like jumping up immediately to check.
Yeah.
Or are you like casually walking, or are you like hurrying?
Kind of hurrying, yeah.
Okay, well make like a dex check to see how quickly you can get to the door from where you are.
That is 18.
Okay, yeah. So you jump over to the door and you open it up, and as you kind of turn, you see the woman, the owner, or the woman that you talked to earlier anyway, kind of going down the stairs. She's not like running away. She's just kind of casually walking down.
How much gold is it?
So you paid, what was it, 5 gold to her? So she gave you like 3 gold back.
It was I think it was the owner. She gave us 3 gold back.
That's good, right?
I'd say so. I'm not turning up my nose to free money.
I mean, it's Varia's money.
Well, that is if she knows about it.
Well, I suppose she doesn't know about it right now, but she will when we tell her.
You know, Chip, you make a really good point. Why don't you hold on to it, make sure it don't get lost.
Okay. I'm gonna use my mage hand to go and pick it up and bring it back to me.
So you grab it, and who are you giving to? I'm sorry, I just missed the very last part of that.
Chips hold on to it.
Okay, you're just putting it in your pocket. All right. Yeah. So you pick it up, and you're able to kind of pocket it. And at this point, Fluffy's trying her best to stay still, but every once in a while, you just see like the blankets like start shifting and moving around.
Yeah,
and-
Eris is asleep. As soon as Chip said that him and Dawn were gonna like talk about Clash, Eris did his best to like fall asleep as fast as possible.
Okay.
So Fluffy's kind of like moving around like on top of him, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like pushing you around a little bit and reorganizing you. And at this point, you look outside and or anyone who's like awake and kind of like looking around will notice that the sun has finally come all the way up, and it is now kind of like a daylight, but it is very, very cloudy. Like it's still pretty dark out for the most part. And you start noticing raindrops hitting the panes as you kind of look around, and basically you hear another person walking up to the door, and they kind of tap on it twice, and you can kind of hear a soft voice say, "Food will be ready in about an hour if you need anything. Until then, the bathrooms are down the hallway at the end. There's a sink in your room, but for the other stuff, anyway." And she turns around and walks off.
Well, now we know how to find Varia.
Right, Chip. You might be right.
You guys think we should get 2-star brothel food?
Well, it's better than no food.
I mean, we got rations. I say we just hit the road and pass on this food offer.
I think that's the rational thing to do.
Oh, Chip. Well, that's fine by me. I don't have to taste the food at the 2-star brothel, but who knows? Maybe it's just the ladies they rate. The food could be amazing. I mean, free meal is hard to pass on. And, well, we did already pay.
Yeah, we can save these rations for later.
Yeah, besides, you ever try to eat hardtack? It's not...
Eris starts sniffing the air, see if he can get a whiff of what they're cooking up for breakfast.
Roll for bacon sense?
Did you just wake back up, or?
Yeah, we just, yeah.
Well, I mean,
wait, I'm sorry. Did we get like a full night's sleep, or are we like still going down for the night?
No,
I'm
it's
confused.
only, you guys have only been here for about like 30-45 minutes.
Oh,
you got
okay,
there
never mind.
like at the end of the night is what. Sorry, that's a little confusing, but yeah, you got there when it was starting to get day, because you're trying to because when you guys left and everything just ended up being more lined up with night cycles. So.
Oh, okay. Eris is back asleep then.
Yeah, sorry about that. As you're starting to get your sleep, I imagine everyone else is kind of getting comfortable for the most part. Basically, she was just saying that because they're still going to be having breakfast whether you're awake or not. So,
okay.
And yeah, so she says that and then walks off, and it's basically starting to rain, and the rain gets a little harder, and the clouds are starting to form a little more, which gets even darker around.
I'm gonna head down to where the breakfast is being held and try to get some of that and see how the 2-star brothel food is.
Yeah, of course.
I'll go with them, and I'll be like, "We'll take first watch. I'm kind of hungry."
Yeah. Besides, it'll be nice to step out in the rain once we finish up our food. You ever been out in the rain, Chip?
in simulations.
Well, I think it'll be important for you, that's all.
Okay.
All right, so you guys step out to go grab some food, and going out there, you see a couple of other people kind of getting up and moving around, kind of cleaning up some of the rooms and stuff like that while you guys head down. And whenever you go to breakfast, there's a couple other people grabbing some food, but for the most part, it's just a whole bunch of what seem to be workers of the establishment. You don't really see any other like people just staying there, coming in there to eat. And the food is 2-star material. We'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing you're gonna write home about. If you have anywhere to write, anyway.
Is it just like a continental breakfast that they just overhyped?
Yeah, like they're
They
like
just have like cereal and waffles.
yeah, basically.
Except the waffle makers are broken, so
Yeah.
that's like the only palatable thing, and it's just broken.
Well, Chip, now you know what it's like to eat in a 2-star joint. What do you think?
Yeah, it's food, I guess.
Well, that's why it's 2 stars, buddy.
Tastes like freedom to me.
And as we kind of transition over to Varia, once again, you're kind of still working on painting this stuff for her, and you notice it's getting like darker outside, to the point where it's a little hard to see. There's not really any lighting to see the painting. So,
I'm gonna stop painting for a second and pause and ask the girl, does it get dark like that often around here?
It's kind of it rains almost every other day around here for some reason. And speaking of which, she had put all her stuff back to normal after the conversation. But yeah, she explains that.
Okay. I'm gonna activate my Ava and ask the forecast to see how long it's supposed to rain for.
The forecast kind of shows that it's going to be getting worse. Like right now, the storm's like approaching, and it's like just on the edge of it, and that it's supposed to be like a really bad storm that's about to hit today. It's supposed to last till tomorrow.
Okay. I'm gonna I'm going to. How far is 120 feet? Like,
What do you mean?
I know Chip's in, like, I don't know distances. Like, how big is 120 feet?
120 feet would you'd be able to get to them. Why?
I'm just okay. So I'm gonna send a message to Perior, because I'm pretty sure he's not sleeping yet.
Okay.
The storm is coming in. It's supposed to be really, really bad, and it's supposed to last for about a day, well into tomorrow. Just wanted to let you know. I figured you wouldn't be sleeping.
He's unable to hear it.
He's unable to hear it.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to painting.
Okay. And just to explain, that's because he is on the kind of like the opposite corner of the building.
But I don't know
Yeah.
that. So.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. So you go back to painting, and whenever you do so, the lighting the storm's picking up, the rain's starting to hit the window on your side heavier, and there's like kind of a building like right up near the window where you're at, and it's just because of that, there's not a lot of light getting in, so it's just getting darker and darker to the point where you need external light to be able to continue painting.
I didn't catch your name. Who are you?
She says, Well, they call me Maya, but my real name's Mary. They say Maya sounds prettier.
I think Mary is a beautiful name. Do you have any light? I'm almost done with your painting. I just want to be able to finish it before it gets too dark with this storm.
Yeah. I'll go. We don't have lights in here because most of the people who come don't want them, but I'll go get a lantern and I'll be back. And she kind of gets up and opens the door and starts heading out for a second. And you're kind of like, looking back at your painting for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And as you turn around, the storm has gotten heavy enough to where it's now like really heavily storming, and you can like hear the wind outside and stuff like that. And thunder has begun to start up pretty hard. And as you turn back around, there's a lightning strike in the from outside, and it lights up the room for a second. And when it lights it up, you see a figure standing in front of the window.
Inside of the room?
Inside of your room.
I'm gonna back up to the door of the entrance to the room. Backing up the whole way, and I'm gonna put. I have my paintbrush in my hand. I'm gonna flip it around.
Okay. You're gonna hear a laugh, and then a voice is going to say, "You're hard to find whenever you removed that tracker."
What do you mean hard to find when I removed the tracker?
Well,
my tracker has been...
Not yours, but your group's.
Who are you?
The voice is recognizable. So make a history check to see if you... Or make an...
My question stands regardless.
I know. But...
7.
Okay. So because of the thunder and stuff and the kind of like the heat of the moment, you don't really recognize who it is. But the voice says, "It took much longer than I anticipated to find your group once you disappeared."
Who are you?
Who are any of us, Varia?
I'm Varia.
Yes.
You know my name. I would like to know yours. Before I throw this dagger at you, tell me your name.
Well, where is your group going to next?
Why do you want to know?
So it doesn't take as long to find you, of course.
I don't know who you are. I'm not going to tell you anything.
It's in your best interest,
Without telling me anything, I will tell you nothing. And that is where I stand.
Well, I'll tell you then, but you already know the answer.
I have assumptions. I'd like to know if those assumptions are the truth.
The figure, you can see some movement in the darkness, and then lightning strikes again as they pull their hood down, and you recognize the figure's shadow to be that of Trisha Vanguard.
In that strike of lightning, I am going to throw my dagger at her.
All right, make a throw.
Oh boy. Yeah. It's not gonna hit her, is it? How about a 6?
You throw it, and she actually grabs it out of the air. And she takes a look at the paintbrush and says, and kind of places it on the bed beside her and says, well, I'm told and my orders are not to interfere too much. I just need to keep an eye out for now.
I meant to, miss. I needed to know if you were actually here.
This time. So are you going to tell me now that you know who I am or not?
You're Trisha Vanguard.
Yes.
I don't know if you're actually Trisha Vanguard or if it's all a ruse. I don't know anything other than the things that I think I know, which are probably wrong. Anyway, we're going to see Lady Luck.
Oh, Lady Luck. Yes, I imagine she'll really want to know about this. Well, she starts playing with the tip of the edge of the paintbrush as she picks it back up, and she walks up to you and hands it out to you and says, I'll see you once you're there.
Not if I see you first.
You won't see me coming. And she turns around and starts walking back towards the window.
Varia's gonna let her go.
And she hops up into the window and turns around and says, till next time. And just drops the, kind of does like a backwards fall out the window.
Okay.
And that is where we're going to end for this episode. So the rest of the group is during this I will say that the rest of the group, if you guys Sir Perior, I assume Scrat, are you going to bed from that or during that kind of
no, he'll stay and go to bed actually.
Okay, so you're gonna stay and go to bed in the room?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're sleeping, Sir Perior and Chip. When you guys get done with your breakfast and head back to the room,
well,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't want us to head back to the room straight away. I really would like to get Chip out into the rain.
Okay. So when you guys step out into the, I forgot about that. When you guys step out into the rain, to kind of show Chip the rain, Sir Perior, roll a perception check for me.
Ooh, that's actually pretty decent. Give me 1 second here. Should be 18, yes.
All right. Yeah, so you're going to notice in the distance, kind of heading away, is a figure cloaked very much like what you guys had talked about previously, and you kind of see them kind of slipping away in some of the lightning as it kind of like flashes, and you can kind of see them. You can't really tell who it is, but you can recognize that the way they're moving seems very odd, like they're just like running away from something, getting out of there.
Absolutely. And I think I probably wouldn't think too much about this, because as I'm leading Chip out this door, I mean, Sir Perior has a real spring to his step. I've got a real spring, and the only time you've seen Sir Perior this excited has been when he's, really talking about how mechs should be. So to see this, he drags you out and says, come on, Chip. When you feel the rain on your face, it might wash off some of those years you spent in that place.
let's go.
And I drag you that way and kind of push you towards the door as we head out. Go on.
And yeah, he pushes you out into the rain outside.
As I step out, I'll pull off the og and just kind of stare up and let it fall on his face for a moment.
Is there something I'm supposed to be doing, or
just why don't you try this, Chip? Why don't you close your eyes?
okay?
Picture the most beautiful thing in the world and just look up into that rain. Let it melt you into the most beautiful place you've ever been.
But I haven't really been anywhere.
In your head, Chip. Sure, you got dreams, don't you?
I dream of stuff, but it's stuff that I've seen mostly, not new things.
Well, don't worry, Chip. We'll find a way to. Well, you'll be fine. Don't worry.
I hope I can find something so I can enjoy the rain like you.
I hope so too, Chip. I hope so too.
And as you guys stand there and stare up into the rain, the camera just zooms out, and the city is like a giant storm over the city, and you can tell that it's like encompassing the whole city. It is a huge storm. You guys don't know this, but it is huge. And there we're gonna have to end tonight. So.